it all. Check out this week's live stream. Welcome to the show.
Hello, I'm Jimmy, and welcome to my house.
BALLCAP Nation.
Assemble.
Let's go.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome into the BALLCAP Nightcap. Has anybody heard anything good today? Did anything happen in the world of baseball? Because I just rolled out of bed and I'm still trying to figure out if anything happened today. What a day. What a day. Blue Jays fans, stand up, be heard. This was a nice one. I love the Marcus Semien deal. It's been about 2 hours since we were here last, and I still like it. I'm still in. I'm a big fan. Welcome in, everybody, to the chat. Welcome, everybody that's here. BZ Baseball, Pricey, Mick, MLB Joey, Kyle, Alec. Let's see. I'm trying to catch everybody. Colin, thank you. Everybody that is here hanging out. Alec, thank you for being here. We got a lot to talk about. We have so much to talk about. I mean, we've got the lineup, and I'm going to try to stick to the lineup as always. But, man, this is big. Yes, the Twins got Simmons. Since we were last together about 2 hours ago, the Twins signed Andrelton Simmons. Tommy La Stella is finalizing a deal with the Giants, and Wilson Ramos is going to the Tigers. That's in the last 2 hours. And, you've got word, they're talking about Didi. Now that the shortstops are getting signed, his market will start to come into play. So, wow, we have a lot going on here. Stin, welcome in, buddy. I do have some Red Sox for you. We got a few things to get to first, but I do have a few pieces for you. We're going to talk about Jose Ramirez. Are the Indians going to hold on to him? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some of the Red Sox moves. We're going to talk about the Jays moves. We're going to dive into Trevor Bauer and Bauer Watch. Phillies get Realmuto back. That's a big one. The Simmons deal, it's a nice move for the Twins. Wasn't that going to cost them about the same as Eddie Rosario? And isn't Eddie Rosario a better bat? And if the Twins already have a shortstop, I'm going to need some Twins fans to provide some clarity here. I'm going to need that. So we got that happening. And then around all of this, around everything else that's happening, we had the Hall of Fame mess today. An absolute mess today by the writers, not voting anybody in. And I would understand it if there weren't any legitimate Hall of Fame nominees. But there are. There's plenty. We're going to dive into it. And we're going to have an interactive segment where I'm going to have you vote. You guys are going to get a vote on who should be in the Hall of Fame. We're going to take a look at roughly the top 10 or so that didn't get in. Nobody got in. And you guys are going to vote and let me know who you think should be in the Hall of Fame. But this was, like I said, this was a big one today. Mick, let's look at you real quick. We'll see. What do you think? You've got Wild Card, Rays, and Twins, Braves, Padres, Yankees, Twins, White Sox, A's. World Series, Yankees, Mets, Yankees win. I don't know. That's a tough one. I think you got to get, where's the Blue Jays? Mick, you got to have the Blue Jays in there. The Blue Jays are making the playoffs. I think the Blue Jays make the playoffs over the Rays here. Yes, a lot of people, Hall of Fame is a joke. It is a joke. You're telling me that, we're trying to have this high standard, that these have to be great people in the Hall of Fame. Everybody in here knows that there are dozens of flat out jerks, abusers, racists, just some of the worst people that are in the Hall of Fame right now. Ty Cobb was a horrible human being, but an amazing baseball player. Babe Ruth was great with kids, kind of a jerk. There's enough of that in the Hall of Fame. So we're going to dive into that a little bit deeper. But tonight, I guess let's start out and let's talk about the hot stove and everything that's going on right now. Like I said, in the last 2 hours, Simmons signs with the Twins. It is a 1 year, $10.5 million deal. again, like I said a minute ago, isn't that what they were going to have to pay Eddie Rosario? And Eddie Rosario is a far better bat. And I understand Andrelton Simmons is a great shortstop, but Twins, are there any Twins fans in here? Don't the Twins already have a shortstop? I see Polanco is listed as a shortstop. Donaldson's the third baseman. You got Arias at second, Sano at first. So I guess Arias is out, and I'm just trying to figure it out. Why did the Twins let Rosario go and make this move? I don't get it. Jordan Armstrong would like to see Simmons on the Jays over Simeon. I want the bat. At the end of the day, I want the bat, so I'm okay with it being Simeon. I can understand Simmons. You know, the Jays lineup, we looked at it, we'll look at it again, is very long, so you could have Simmons bat ninth and it wouldn't hurt you. Be fine. So I don't understand. Are there any Twins here? T.Y. Yold, are you a Twins fan? Oh, we have a Twins fan. Hold on, where did you go? Mick, tell me what's going on, Mick. In the chat, comment, tell me what's going on. You can be our Twins correspondent. What? Why? Who are you happier with? Are you happier with Andrelton Simmons, or would you have rather had Rosario? Because you're going to get more out of Rosario with the bat than you will Simmons. I'm confused there. I need you to sort of explain some things for me. We have some folks in the chat talking about Bauer to the Jays. I mean, we'll see. I don't know how much money they're going to spend. Let's see. We need D and Eddie stroke out. Okay. I mean, let's see. We'll see if they're right. I think the Twins are probably going to be second behind the White Sox this year. I think it's going to be White Sox and then Twins and then Indians. So the Twins will have a shot at the wild card, but you know, the two wild card spots could come from the East, could be Rays and Blue Jays, and they may not get one. So you know, we'll see how it plays out. I think they're going to need that bat. We'll see. But it's a 1-year deal. So it's a 1-year deal. So they go and get Andrelton Simmons. We'll take a look at Simmons' projection. Here is his projection with the bat. Again, it's not really a bat that you're getting here. It is more about the glove. But comment in the chat. This is an interactive portion here. Want to hear from you guys. What do you think? Simmons, these numbers. Over, under, looks good. I think it looks good. Hit the 3 if you think it looks good. Hit the 2 if you think he goes under. Hit the 1 if you think he goes over these numbers. I don't see any way that he goes over these numbers. I don't know where he's going to hit in that Twins lineup. So the runs, that's going to be dependent on all of that. But this will be interesting. I think it looks about good, in my opinion. And if he can hit 281, that'll be good. So we had that move. And again, in the last couple of minutes, I don't have anything for it, but we have LaStella looking like he's going to the Giants. And we have, on top of LaStella going to the Giants, we have Wilson Ramos going to the Tigers. Tigers making a move, and that's a nice move for the Tigers. So I give them some credit for that. Another big move. Let's get to the Blue Jays real quick. Let's dive into this. Marcus Semien going to the Jays, 1-year deal, $18 million, signed in with Toronto. We went live shortly after it happened. They caught me just sitting down for dinner, so I had to scarf down dinner, throw some graphics together, and we were live. What was that? 7:30, 7:30, 6:37? I don't know. But this is a nice move, big signing. I think for the most part, Jays fans, we're all on board with this. You know, ultimately, you know, the lineup is a little right-handed heavy now. We could use some lefties. We could use, you know, Didi Gregorius. I brought that up before. Do you think Didi or Simeon? You know, I could go either way, I guess, but I would like to have a lefty bat. Right now, our only other lefty bat after Biggio is Tellez, and Tellez isn't gonna play much. Grichuk is gonna have that DH spot. So Grichuk could get traded, I guess. We could see, you know, someone get traded and they go get a pitcher, but that pitching is the next move. The Blue Jays are showing that they're going for it. That's the takeaway from this move. You know, the Springer deal, you know, that's a multi-year deal, right? That is a multi-year deal. You're looking into the decade. You figure, okay, they're getting that. And the Yates deal, that's a 1-year deal. This deal tells me the Jays are serious about making a run for the division this year, which means they feel like this team is ready to make a deep run in to the playoffs, and that tells me they're going to do something for pitching. They are going to do something for pitching for sure. Corbin thank you for the super chat, my friend. I appreciate that. Nice thing about the Simeon deal is that, the Jays are willing to commit $18 million to something next year. Also, that's a great point. So, and I wanted everybody to know, if you make a super chat, I'm not asking for them, but if you make them, you take over the conversation for a couple minutes. So whatever you bring up, you get the shout out and you take over the conversation for a minute. So that's a great point, though. I look at it too as they're ready to win. And they're showing that they're ready to win. They're making that financial investment in him. They're not going to want to waste that by not continuing to improve some of those areas that need to be improved. And on top of they're spending the $18 million on Simeon. They're also going to, next year, Story's going to be available. Chris Bryant, if he stays with the Cubs, will be a free agent. Chris Bryant could get traded somewhere and then not re-sign and be a free agent next year, so they could get back in on Chris Bryant next year. So $18 million for 1 year shows that, that's a nice earmarked amount that they could save for next year, and it shows that they're ready to win. And again, they could make a run for Bryant next year. They can make a run for Story. They could do those things. And think about it from Marcus Semien's side of things. He's doing this move because word is he wanted to go back to Oakland, but we don't know what Oakland was offering. At least I haven't heard yet. If he's on a 1 year deal, he's playing for his next contract. I love guys that are playing for the next contract. He's playing for his next contract. Look at what Marcell Ozuna just did, playing for his next contract with the Braves. I'm not saying Simeon's going to go and do what Ozuna did, but Simeon has been, he's shown flashes of brilliance. He was number 3 in the MVP voting in 2019. He had a fantastic year, 30 homers, over 100 runs scored, hit towards the top of the lineup, so not as many RBI. But Simeon has shown that he can be up there with some of the best. And I think if you're getting him for 1 year and you're giving him a chance and telling him to you come in, prove it, you get your big deal, you get your 5-year deal for, $20 million a year, 5 years next year, and that's what he's playing for, he's going to be busting it this year. So that's big. Again, Corbin, thank you for that. Thank you for directing the conversation that way. So Simeon, that's a big one. Let's take a look real quick at how the lineup could look. First, let's look at his projection. This is his projection for 2021. We did it earlier. If you weren't here earlier, this is fresh for you. 93 runs, 25 homers, 73 RBI, 11 steals, slash line of 256, 337, and 450. What do you guys think? Comment in the chat. If you think he's going over, hit the 1. If you think he's going under, hit 2. If you think it looks good, hit 3. And if you think it's over or under, let me know where. More home runs, more RBI. What do you think? Let me know. Pardon me while I take a glass of water. I don't want to lose my voice. I usually lose my voice towards the end of these things. I'm going to try to not do that. So there is that. Zachary likes a better slash line. Yeah, I could see that. I could see a slightly better slash line. Let's see. His best slash line of his career for a season anyway. Let's look at that. For a season, Marcus Semien's best slash line he put up, it was that 2019 season when he went 285, 369, and 522. So that's what he is. Here's what the lineup could look like. This is fun. Jays fans, buckle up. This is fun. I love this. Now, 1, 2, and 3 could be set, right? I feel like 4 through 8 are fluid. Earlier we had someone comment that they hated seeing Teoscar Hernandez 7th. Look at this as a good thing. Look at this as a good thing that that Hernandez is 7th. And if you're not a big Randal Grichuk fan, okay, he's hitting 8th in this lineup. Randal Grichuk is hitting 8th. You are right, Pro Baseball Raider. Thank you for that. So when I put this lineup together, I haven't had a chance since we went live earlier. They did announce that Simeon will be playing second. Bo will stay at short. They're going to move Cavan around. But, don't get distracted by that right now. Let's just look at that lineup. And that is a deep lineup. Anybody got to go up against that is going to just have fits. Lewis likes Tellez at DH. I think he will get in at DH, but if Grichuk is still on the team come, the start of the season, Grichuk is going to have a leg up for that DH spot, but I got to think that there's a move there. I don't know if Teoscar goes to number 4. I don't know in this line. But I think there's going to be a lot of movement. Again, 4 through 8 are all fluid, right? This is a deep lineup. If Vladdy struggles, I'm going to say something crazy. If Vladdy does struggle, which I don't think he will, this lineup is too deep to keep him up there. If Vladdy struggles like he did at parts of last year, Vladdy's going down this lineup. This lineup's too deep. So this is kind of what the lineup looks like. I mean, good things coming here. This is big news. This is a big move for the Jays. I'm a big fan of it. I think good things are coming from Marcus Semien. And again, we'll talk a little bit about who he's been. Had that 2019 season where he was number 3 in the MVP voting, 285, 369, and 522 slash line with 33 homers, was just a monster. Last year, a little bit of a slip, 223, 305, and 374. Not great. 7 homers. But you know what? If you've been listening to us for a while, we got a lot of familiar names here, so you've heard me say it before. We're handing out mulligans. If you struggled in the 2020 season, that's okay. There were only 60 games. There wasn't enough time to get out of that slump. There are guys that go through slumps that last a month, and you can start to turn it around in month 2. But the problem was this year, in month 2, the season was over. So we're gonna not beat up on Marcus Semien for having a rough situation in 2019. Jason Johnson, thank you for the super chat again. I'm not asking for them, but if you do them, you get the shout out and you take over the conversation for a minute. What are his home and away splits? Will the AL East drive up his numbers? Look at what happened to Donaldson when he left Oakland. I mean, that's a good point. Let's look at his splits. I'm going to share my screen with you guys and we will pull it up. Bear with me one moment while we go to the Marcus Semien splits for Jason. Let's do this now. Okay. Now I got to get chat out of the way so we can see what we're looking at here. All right. Let me try to make this so you guys can see it a little bit better. Let me get a few things out of the way, guys. All right. We are going for the splits. Marcus Semien, we're checking him out here. Look at his career splits. Slow down. Okay. Away, 250, 313, 432. Home. So not drastically better at home. Actually slugged better away. Looking at him, righties versus lefties. He's obviously going to hit a little bit better versus lefties, and he does that. That makes sense. Looking at a first or second half guy, tends to be slightly a little bit better in the second half, but not that much to really be that big of a deal. Let's look at opponents. Let's look at ballparks. Let's just take a look at some of the parks that he's hit in. So let's take a look at in Toronto, 293, 373, and 414. Not bad. Tropicana Field. Needs somebody that can hit in Tropicana Field. Hope George Springer just goes off in Tropicana Field year after year. That's what that looks like at Tropicana Field. Camden Yards. Decent slash line there. Fenway Park. Hasn't done that well at Fenway Park. And at Yankee Stadium. Hadn't done that well at Yankee Stadium. But again, minimal numbers. So that's what we're looking at with Marcus Semien and his splits. So thank you for that. So it's a big deal. Love it, love it, love it, love it. If you love it too, love it. Let's see here. Let's get all the graphics back up. All right. So we had Simeon sign. That's awesome. We will get back to that, but keeping it moving with some of the other notes, because I know we've got a lot of Trevor Bauer fans in here. Who comment in the chat? Do you want Trevor Bauer? Hit the 1 if you want Trevor Bauer. Hit the 2 if you don't want Trevor Bauer. 1 for Bauer, 2 for not Bauer. What do you think? Trevor Bauer's on everybody's mind. He is now really the big piece left. It could fall tonight. He could go tonight. We're going to watch that. I'm going to keep an eye on my phone with the Twitter alerts. What happens with Trevor Bauer? Is he going to go to the Mets? It feels like it's down to the Mets and the Angels. We know that the Dodgers have checked in. We know the Padres have monitored it. The Blue Jays were in it. I kind of feel like they're getting out of it with the Springer deal. This Marcus Semien deal, I don't know if it completely takes him out of the Trevor Bauer sweepstakes because it is just a one-year deal for Marcus Semien. So maybe the Blue Jays still go for Trevor Bauer. You know, that's going to be the big question. And you know, we were talking about it earlier.
Anytime you'd make a trade
with a guy like Trevor Bauer, you could be getting an ace. You could be getting a guy that pulled the okie doke last year, right? It was 60 games. If you look at his game log, you look at who he played, Trevor Bauer had a very nice season, but the competition wasn't the toughest competition. Okay, let's just call it what it is. He's got 2 nice seasons. He's got 7 seasons that kind of make you cringe a little bit. So do you want to drop a ton of money on him? That is the question. Matisse, you like him going to the Dodgers? We'll see. I mean, a 1-year deal, maybe that happens. I think the Mets are going to do it. Matisse, I see you, man. I see you with the Dodgers. I have a feeling it ends up going to, I think he's just going to go to the Mets. I think the Mets are going to offer much. They didn't get Springer. It's one of those situations where, now they're going to pay Bauer more than they would have paid Springer, but you can't lose Bauer. It's like if you're doing, anybody ever done a fantasy football or fantasy baseball draft and you're drafting along, and let's say it's an auction draft, right? Or it's a snake draft, and there's only one of something left. There's only one top quarterback left, or one top running back left, or one top starter left in your draft. You're going to pay more for that because that's the last that's left. This is it. I mean, if you're looking for the top of the top, he's kind of up there. Good point. I made that mistake, BZ Baseball. Thank you. 5 should be Padres. I'm just doubling down on Dodgers. That's what I'm doing. No, I'm kidding. 5 should have been Padres. Sorry about that. So 5 for Padres. Well, I mean, we're going to see. You know, what happens with Trevor Bauer? We're going to monitor that tonight because that could go tonight. He could make his decision tonight, and he could find a new home at some point. And, if it is the Mets, just think about that rotation. I mean, this is what the Mets would be looking at with Trevor Bauer in the rotation. You go DeGrom 1, then Bauer, then Syndergaard, Carrasco, Stroman. If Stroman is your 5, you're in good shape. And the Mets would be in good. Now, we know Syndergaard's got to come back. He's got to prove it, but still, the depth, because they've also got Peterson, they've also got Matz, they've got a lot of other guys that they could slide in if there's some trouble. So that's if they get Bauer. That looks good. And we talked about this. We talked about this with Simeon. The Mets are trying to set up. Look at the Dodgers. You got Kershaw and Buehler. Look at the White Sox. You got Giolito and Lynn. The Yankees, come playoff time, they're going to have Cole and Severino. The Braves, anybody that you face against the Braves is trouble. The teams that are going to put their name next to World Series contender in 2021 are going to have 2 aces at the top. And that's what the Mets are looking at right now. And that's why they want to do this deal. That's why the Blue Jays are attached to them. Because if you want to be a contender, you are going to have to go up against those. You have to go up against that kind of a situation. If you have a 5-game series and you're going up against DeGrom and Bauer, or Cole and Severino, or Kershaw and Buehler, Giolito and Lynn, you better have something good to throw back at them. And if Toronto is throwing back Ryu and Pearson, if Pearson is still pitching come October, based on the pitching limit that we know he will be on, it hasn't been announced, but we know you gotta have the 2 at the top. The Padres rotation, right? That is what you're competing with. the teams that want to win the World Series are going to have two aces at the top. That's just how it is this year. If it's for two reasons. If you make it through the season and everybody's healthy, then great. You made it into the postseason. You made it into the dance. Everybody's healthy, and you have two aces that are just going to strike fear into the other team. And it gives you that security. Let's say somebody gets hurt. Let's say the Mets get Bauer, and God forbid Bauer gets hurt, in September, and he can't go. Well, it's okay. They've got DeGrom. The Dodgers. If Buehler gets hurt, they've got Kershaw. If Lynn gets hurt, the White Sox have Giolito. If the Yankees, if Severino's not ready, they've got Cole. You gotta have that ace. And if you can have two aces, and you're in great shape. So I think it's going to be the Mets. I think the Angels probably. Listen. I'm still. If you were to ask me to make a prediction, I would still say the Angels are going to do something, but we're going to have to. It's starting to look more and more like the Mets. That's just the way it is. And I got to think that Trevor Bauer is looking at this and he's seeing that. The other teams that are in position to be a World Series contender, they've got two aces at the top. And he is one of those aces. So he's going to want to go somewhere where there's either already two or he will be number two. That's what they're going to have to do. Everybody that is hanging out, make sure you give the video a like. If you're a Mets fan, give it a like if you want Bauer. If you are a Blue Jays fan, give the video a like. If you are excited about Marcus Semien and you think the Jays are going to win the East, give the video a like. Please support. Love that support that just liking this video provides. So thank you very much for that. And if you haven't yet subscribed, come on in, join the community. I think we're building a nice one here, and we'd love for you to be a part of it. If you do sub, let me know. I'd like to give you a shout out and thank you personally if you do sub in this, in the chat. Let me know. So we've got the Bauer deal. We're watching that. We're going to watch that. If it gets hot and we need to get into, if y'all remember last week, we ended up scrapping the whole nightcap and we did Springer watch. If we need to go Bauer watch, if it starts to heat up, we will shift gears. I've got the graphics ready if we need to be ready for a Bauer watch if it happens. The other big move today, Kyle, thank you, my man. Appreciate it. Grichuk, trade value is 0. Well, Grichuk plus Jordan Groshans isn't so bad. I mean, that's good point, but I think you're with me, right? If you had to pick Teoscar, Lourdes, or Grichuk to go, it's Grichuk, right? Or Teoscar. Teoscar's gone through some mean slumps. So one of the two. And just based on what we're seeing, I think Teoscar is hitting that peak, hitting that point where he's ready to blow up. So I would rather it be Grichuk. But I agree with you. Ontario now not trading Groshans, but why? Okay, I understand it. I've heard the argument. But here's the thing about Jordan Groshans. Austin Martin's right behind him. Austin Martin is going to eclipse him. Just hear me out. Austin Martin is going to eclipse Jordan Groshans. So where's Jordan Groshans going to play? Martin is going to be ready to play in the major leagues maybe before Groshans is. Jordan Groshans his arrival was delayed last year because of the pandemic. He didn't get to play Double-A. He hasn't played above A ball. We don't know exactly what Jordan Groshans is. So if we know that somebody's going to eclipse him, that infield's going to be full when Austin Martin gets there. And there's nowhere in the outfield for Austin Martin to go now because that's one of the things they were talking about, sending Martin to the outfield. There's no room for Jordan Groshans. So the best thing to do with Jordan Groshans, his trade value will never be as high as it is now. Turn Jordan Groshans into Sonny Gray or turn him into Kyle Hendricks because that's how they'll win. That's all I'm saying about Jordan Groshans. I understand it, but I just feel like he's expendable right now. That's my feeling on that. We don't know about Martin either. That's a very good point. But with the pedigree, with the tools, with the scouting grades, Martin is already on some prospect rankings. Martin is already has already passed Groshans. So I feel like, yeah, Jordan Groshans would be nice, but would you turn Jordan Groshans into Sonny Gray? Would you do that? Blue Jays fans that are engaged with me right now in the chat on Martin and Groshans and Kyle Hendricks, Jordan, with those prospects, would you turn Jordan Groshans into Sonny Gray or Kyle Hendricks? Would you do that? Would you do that deal? I would. So, all right, that's my thought. So, no, okay, I understand. If you don't want to do that, that's fine with you. That's all right. Think about it this way. We have some yeses, we have some no. Think about it this way. This is another way to look at it. Look at the trades that the Blue Jays did back in, 15? When they got Troy Tulowitzki. I know you don't want to hear that name, but they got Troy Tulowitzki. They got David Price, and they got Ben Revere. Look at the pieces they gave up for David Price and Troy Tulowitzki. They've done nothing. Daniel Norris done nothing in Detroit. Jeff Hoffman did nothing in Colorado. Those were the main pieces, and they did nothing. So it is just, if you can go get the proven talent now, I would do it. And now I wouldn't always do it, but I think it's okay to do it with Jordan Groshans. Anyway, let's talk about JT Realmuto, because that's a big one. That's a big one for the Phillies. We will come back to Blue Jay talk. Everything can circle back to Blue Jay talk, but let's talk about JT Realmuto and the Phillies for a minute, because this was a deal that they needed to get done. If the Phillies don't bring JT Realmuto back, I think that sends the Phillies into a spiral that leads to Bryce Harper being gone in like 2 or 3 years. This was a big deal. Harper wanted him back. If they didn't bring him back, the Phillies start to look like the window is closing, because how much more are you going to get out of McCutchen? I know he had a good year last year, but how much more is there in that well? How much more are you going to get out of Gene Segura? So you've got a situation building in Philly to where, listen, the rotation isn't coming together as nicely as they probably would have thought it was. You got Nola and Wheeler. It's just, that isn't coming together like you thought it would. And that National League East is getting even more competitive. So if Realmuto goes, Bryce Harper's looking at this thing like, what am I doing here? And the Phillies don't trade Bryce Harper right away. They don't trade him in 2021 or 2022, but come 2023, Bryce Harper starts to make noise. But I don't want to be here anymore. You didn't bring my boy back a couple years ago. You weren't able to go get a deal with Mike Trout. You weren't able to get him to hold off on signing that big extension with the Angels to come look at it. Like, Harper is down. Harper would be down on the Phillies. So this is a big deal. It keeps the Phillies competitive in that division. It keeps their star player happy. It keeps them relevant, because without JT Realmuto, sign, seal, deliver, they are the 4th place team in the National League East. Maybe fifth. This deal keeps them relevant, keeps that lineup respectable. If Rhys Hoskins can have a bounce back, if you can squeeze another year out of McCutchen and Segura, this lineup is respectable. They still have some more moves to do. They definitely still have some more moves to make. I think Eddie Rosario would be a nice piece to add. Do they go bring Didi Gregorius back? They have some more moves to make, but it's important that the Phillies get this Realmuto deal done. It really, really was a big component. I think will be a big component to keeping Harper happy, to keeping that fan base happy, to keeping things moving in the right direction there in Philly. So that Realmuto deal, that was a big one. That was definitely a big one. And we had, we touched on it right at the top, and it's primarily because, it was the big one that just broke, and it was Andrelton Simmons going to the Twins, 1 year, $10.5 million, as the shortstops are signing today. A lot of moves today. It's great stuff to see. We're wondering if it'll culminate in a big one with Trevor Bauer. We are doing the Bauer Watch. We do have a little bit of an update. John Morosi tweeting that Colton Wong's market is heating up amid all of the infield movement today. Cardinals, Tigers, Mariners, Rays, Cubs, and Phillies are among the teams that are checking in on Colton Wong. So the Blue Jays are out on Colton Wong. Wong had been one of the names mentioned, and it doesn't look like it. Yeah, KD, it doesn't look like the Jays are in on Colton Wong anymore. Jays need rotation badly. Yeah, totally. Cultival, yes, they do. And I think that's the next move. I think they got it. The lineup is together. There is no way they're going to spend the money they spent on Springer and now Simeon and not do something for the rotation. So they've got to get that going. Tanner Roark has to go. Here's the problem with Tanner Roark. He's got too much money. He's got too much money attached to him, and he's no good. But the problem is he's got too much money attached to him. He's got, I think, $13 million this year. $13 million for Tanner Roark, a guy that posted a 6.8 ERA last year. And again, we're giving people a pass. If they struggled, they didn't have time to get out of it, but he was really bad. His career ERA is 3.83. So his career ERA isn't that bad, but it was a long time ago since he last had a good season. He had a great 2016 with Washington where he put up an ERA at 2.83. Had a great 2014, but something just broke. Something just broke with Tanner Roark. But he's going to be, I really am confident that Tanner Roark is going to be the number 5 starter in Toronto to start the year just because he's got $13 million. Just because of the $13 million. I would like the Jays to go get Paxton and Walker, and we can call it a day. Or maybe in lieu of Paxton, go make a trade, go get Kyle Hendricks or Sonny Gray. Let's see, Nicholas, do we know how the game is going to be played? It's divisional NHL. No, the plan right now, I feel like the plan is going to change. They're already starting to talk, right? The owners and the players. The plan is to just roll it out, just go. But you've seen how that's not working in the NBA. So Major League Baseball, they're watching that. And they're looking at that like we're going to have the same problem. And we have more players. So I don't want them to go back to those regional schedules where they only play teams in their division. Could you imagine Trevor Bauer only facing National League East teams? His ERA is going to be 6 if he only faces National League East teams. Anyway, I hope they don't go down that road. There's a chance it could, just because of the way that this pandemic is sliding through right now, really hurting the NBA. But it's also, you got the president talking about how he wants to have a vaccine for everybody that wants one by the summer. So let's say something like that kind of happens. Major League Baseball season is so long, it would be hard to make a decision based on today's pandemic situation. Make that decision today for 6 months of a season, 7 months of a season, when things could be drastically different 3 months down the road. That's the hard part. Raul, do I think the Jays should bring back Matt Shoemaker? I would like that move. Again, I would like some low risk, low dollar moves, and I think he would be one. Let's see. Does the Simmons signing means Polanco is on the trade block? I don't think so. I don't know what the Twins are doing. I really don't know what the Twins are doing with that. Where do you think Chris Bryant will end up now that the Jays are off the board? From Mick. Orioles 2041. Ask Mick. Mick is our Twins fan correspondent. It's a great question. I don't know. I mean, we've talked about potential suitors for Chris Bryant on here in the past. The Nats were mentioned with him. Maybe the Mets become a player. Like, let's say Bauer goes to the Angels and the Mets are left holding the bag again. Maybe they go try to trade for Chris Bryant. I can't imagine they would want to do another trade after trading for Lindor. Do the Dodgers do it? The Dodgers, it's, I guess, close. The Turner situation is for him to return. So I don't know what happens with Chris Bryant. It's a great question. That is a fantastic question, and it's tough. It's tough to kind of pinpoint what's going to happen. Is Washington, could be. Are the Nats not done? The Nats, their system, they don't have a whole lot left to deal. But if you include the third baseman that's up there now, Keyboom, that could do it. That could do it. You're saying Keyboom and a couple prospects. Maybe the Cubs bite on that. I don't know. We will see. Stin123, thank you for being so patient. And yes, we can talk about. We're going to talk about real quick, let's talk about J-Ram. Let's slide a little bit and talk about Jose Ramirez because, while it's not a heavy flow with the market, there have been some people out there reporting and doing stories about the Indians. They get rid of Lindor. Do they hold on to J-Ram? And if they're not going to hold on to J-Ram, if they're going to move on from him too, some potential options. Braves, yes. Braves have been mentioned with him. The Blue Jays were mentioned earlier, back when there was talk about the Blue Jays being in on a Lindor. Why trade for Lindor if J-Ram's available? The Brewers have been mentioned along with J-Ram. So where Ramirez winds up, if he even gets traded, is still kind of a mystery. But with what Cleveland is doing, they probably hold on to him for one more year because they could still be competitive with that pitching staff and a lineup around Ramirez. But it is fascinating. And if you put him in that Atlanta lineup, Atlanta would probably have to, Atlanta's got to have to give up some stuff. If you're a Braves fan, are you happy with a Jose Ramirez coming in and then Christian Pache? Because you're going to have to give up a lot. You're going to have Christian Pache, Ian Anderson going to the Indians. Would you do that? That'd be tough. That'd be a tough call. I feel like we got some folks here looking for the crew, looking for the Brewers. Who would you give up? Brian, Steel Badger. Who would you give up if you were if you were doing this deal, trying to get Ramirez? Honestly, what do you think it would take to get him away from the Indians? Because it'd be quite a haul. It would be a big haul to get Jose Ramirez away from the Indians, but it's out there. And keeping in mind, we talk about the Blue Jays there. We talk about the Blue Jays a lot. Keeping in line with the American League East, the Red Sox can't go this episode of the Nightcap without talking about what the Red Sox have done over the last week. Really, they re-signed Perez. He's not on here, but they re-signed Perez. That adds some depth to the rotation. Then they go get Garrett Richards. That added some nice depth to the rotation. And Garrett Richards is good. Garrett Richards had some nice seasons. 2015 was good. 2018 was good. 2020 was fair. Had a fine year in 2020. So Garrett Richards is a nice piece. Probably fits into that 3 or 4 spot right now. Once Chris Sale gets back, you can move him out. We'll look at the rotation in just a minute. But some nice moves. Kike Hernandez is a nice add. I think that with Kike, you got it. That's a great piece. If he can get more at-bats, love to see what he can do with more at-bats. And then Adam Ottavino, nice piece of the bullpen. I don't know how well Ottavino is going to pitch when he's going up against the Yankees, who will know him like the back of their hand. But Ottavino adds nice depth to that bullpen, and you're going to have, the Blue Jays will have trouble with him. The Rays will have trouble with him. So that's good. William, thank you for the super chat. You got Waiters or Waters? Riley and Davidson to get Ramirez from the Braves. That might do it. I feel like you need one more piece. It doesn't have to be a high prospect. Could be like a project prospect. So somebody that's, at that 25 range might need one more piece, but that would be good. Waiters is good. Riley is your MLB proven piece. So that could work. I might think one more piece. Richards' ERA won't stay below 4. It's going to be tough in that East. It will be tough. Raul, who do you think Toronto would offer Cleveland for Ramirez? You're talking about 2 of the top 5 prospects in the system. You're talking Lourdes Gurriel Jr., and so you probably go Gurriel Jr., Groshans, Manoah, and then another prospect maybe a little bit further down. It'd be a haul. It would be a big haul. Don't forget Adam Ottavino to the Red Sox trade. Yeah, we're talking about that right there. We've got him on the screen right now, Adam Ottavino. What's interesting is, again, I talk about this. When he goes up against the Yankees are going to know his arsenal. They're going to know everything about him, which is interesting, which is why I'm surprised the Red Sox did that deal. I understand them wanting to add to that bullpen, and Ottavino's a good pitcher and all that, but the biggest rival is going to know everything Ottavino can throw at him. And the Yankees are going to be they're going to be competing with the Yankees all year long for that division. Red Sox are going to be in the mix. I don't doubt that. I think they're going to be in the mix. So Ottavino's a nice piece, but and again, he will give the Blue Jays and the Rays fits, and any other team that they go up against. But the rival, the team that they might have to beat out to get to the top of the division, the Yankees, they're going to know them like the back of their hand. If you have a Red Sox and Yankees playoff series, I think Adam Ottavino is irrelevant in that series. But we'll see. We will see. AL East. Did I not say AL East? In the AL East, I got you. So, we'll see how it works out. But the Red Sox making some moves. A week ago, none of this had happened. Perez had just been re-signed. You're kind of like, hey, look, Boston finally did something. They woke up. But I like it. I like that they're making some moves. I like that they're doing some things. Do I think the Phillies will do more? I do. I think the Phillies will do more. I think the Phillies will have to do more. I don't think they have to spend a ton of money, but I think they will do more for sure. Thank you, everybody that's here. I appreciate it. We are doing the Tuesday night BALLCAP Nightcap. Thank you for being here. Make sure you hit the like. If you haven't yet, please hit that like. And if you haven't, subscribe. Join our community that we are building. Would love for you to be a part of it. And if you do subscribe, comment in the chat. Let me know. I would like to thank you personally for subscribing. So let's keep it moving here. There is our Red Sox talk. That is courtesy of Stin. Here's the thing, guys. The mornings that we do these, I'll put out the poll, and I'll basically give you what the lineup's going to be, what the rundown is going to be. But I'm going to ask you what you want to talk about. You'll get the lineup. You switch. You'll know this is what's coming. But you'll have the poll, and in the comment section, you can let me know if you want to talk about something else. And Stin wanted to throw out some Red Sox talk. So there we go. Let's look at the rotation, then they'll close the chapter on the Red Sox talk. This is what it looks like right now. These are the rotation options, right? You got Rodriguez and Perez, Richards, Eovaldi, and Hawk, right? Pivetta probably slides in there if they need the depth. And then Chris Sale, you get Chris Sale back sometime in the summertime, and it starts to look like a formidable rotation if Chris Sale is back and pitching well, because we know Rodriguez can pitch well. And then you got really, in my opinion, a bunch of threes to fill out the 3, 4, 5 spot. So not bad. Not a bad look at the at the Red Sox rotation. Houck stinks. We'll see. Was all right in brief time last year. Yes, they can have Roark. Let's do a deal. Since the Red Sox are trading within the division, I got a doozy for them. I'll send them Tanner Roark for Tanner Houck. Do you think they would notice if, same first name but just a different last name? What do you think? Would the Red Sox notice a different Tanner in the house if all he went by was Tanner? Yep, Tanner, you're up. I'm here. Let's see. Let's keep it moving here. Let's talk about the Hall of Fame. This whole Hall of Fame thing was a disaster, and this is going to be an interactive portion. I'm going to let you guys vote who you want in the Hall of Fame, because the writers messed it up today. I'm sure there are some folks in the chat that are perfectly fine with it, are happy that a bunch of people aren't getting in, but we've got some guys that have a serious case, and in my opinion, are Hall of Famers. I just don't understand what they're doing. I get that there's an integrity thing. They want to hold these players to a high standard off the field, but give me a break. Give me a break. There are some awful people in the Hall of Fame. Let's look at this. Here was the Hall of Fame voting. Schilling got 71%. He missed out. Bonds, 61.8. Bonds kind of stayed stagnant with where he was. He was at 60.7 last year. So he went up slightly. Clemens stayed flat with that 61. Omar Vasquel dipped. Vasquel went from 52% the year before to 49. Roland jumped. From 35 to 52. That's a nice jump for Scott Rowland. He'll be in his 5th year next year. Omar Vasquel, man. I'm going to make my case in a minute. Then you got Todd Helton. Todd Helton went from 29% to 44%, so a nice jump for Todd Helton. Gary Sheffield went from 30% to 40%. Nice jump for Gary Sheffield, but he's not close. Andrew Jones, he went from 19% to 33%. A nice jump. Kent went from 27 to 32. Manny Ramirez stayed at 28. Then you got Sammy Sosa went from 13 to 17. Pettit went from 11 to 13. Mark Burley, first timer, 11%. Torrey Hunter, 9.5 his first time. Abreu, 8.7. And Hudson, 5.2 his first time. So, it's just, it was interesting. And I'm realizing now as I'm looking at this, I don't have Wagner on there, but we did have Billy Wagner with, I'm going to have to look that up now. Does anybody have it real quick? 2021 Hall of Fame results. Because we didn't get Billy Wagner in either. Billy Wagner fell short. Billy Wagner was 46.4% for Billy Wagner. Billy Wagner not even close, not even sniffing it. The only three that are sniffing it right now, and two of them aren't going to make it, Schilling and Bonds. Now, next year, here's the kicker, guys. Next year, it will be the final year for the top three guys, Schilling, Bonds, and Clemens. It will be their final year. It'll be Sosa's final year as well. Does Schilling get in on his final year? Does he get the remaining 3.9% that is necessary the final year? That's the question. I want to see who's coming on the ballot next year. Let's see. New to the ballot in 2022. Oof. Next year, A-Rod's on it. Big Poppy's on it. Jimmy Rollins, Mark Teixeira, Nathan, Papelbon, Morneau, Fielder, Howard, Ryan Howard, Lincecum. So those are the new names next year. Again, I'll give them to you again. Tim Lincecum is new next year. Ryan Howard, Prince Fielder, Justin Morneau, Jonathan Papelbon, Joe Nathan, Mark Teixeira, Jimmy Rollins, David Ortiz, and Alex Rodriguez are all new next year. So we get the final year for a handful of steroid-era guys, Bonds and Clemens and Sosa, and then we get a whole new round. So we get to do it all over again for another 10 years with David Ortiz and Alex Rodriguez. How's that going to be? This is just, boy. Will anybody get a final year kick? What we're hearing is that a lot of the young writers, the young voters, are for Bonds and Clemens and the steroid guys. It's the older voters that are like, no, want nothing to do with them. So, how is it going to go the last year? For Schilling, Bonds, Clemens, Sosa's done. Sosa's done. I could see Schilling in his final year getting the bump. I can't see it. I don't see Bonds and Clemens making the jump. Next year is going to be fascinating because here's the deal. This year, they said nobody was good enough to earn the Hall of Fame, right? Next year, with the new guys, do you let Ortiz in? There's steroid allegations there. A-Rod, he's not going to get in. Is Jimmy Rollins going to get in on his first time? If they are saying this year that there were no players worthy of being voted into the Hall of Fame this year, what are they going to say next year? Because they're not going to vote Ortiz or Rodriguez in, and you're going to have so maybe Jimmy Rollins. Rollins had 2,400 hits, a mediocre subpar slash line, 470 steals. Rollins is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. So are we really going to have 2 years in a row with nobody getting into the Hall of Fame? Do those votes for Schilling get pulled away to Ortiz and Rodriguez? And again, we have 2 years in a row with nobody in the Hall of Fame. That'd be a joke. That's just bad. So the Hall of Fame situation is an absolute disaster in my mind. Schilling should be in. He has over 3,000 strikeouts. We have kept that as the barometer. If you get to 3,000 strikeouts, you get into the Hall of Fame. But now they're changing it because they don't like Curt Schilling. They don't like who he is. They don't like things he said. Okay, I get it. But Ty Cobb was a racist, and he's in the Hall of Fame. Now, I understand that when it was voting, people thought differently, as wrong as it was, so they didn't think about that. But we've still had people who have been elected to the Hall of Fame that have said some stupid things that are in there. We've got steroid users in the Hall of Fame, guys. Mike Piazza took Andro, took steroids. Mike Piazza's in the Hall of Fame, and we're good with that. Pudge Rodriguez, they never showed up on the Mitchell report, none of that. But Pudge Rodriguez, in the what's kind of become the holy grail, started the finger pointing of the steroid era with Canseco's book. As crazy as Canseco is, everybody in that book was found to have been guilty of taking it, except Pudge Rodriguez. He kind of got through it. Pudge Rodriguez got in, no problem. And there's others. There are others. So what are we doing? It's absolutely – Piazza was never caught. They found him with Andro. They found him with Androstein. So whether he tested positive, he didn't test positive, but he was caught with Androstein Dion. That should have been enough. That should have been enough for enough writers to be like, I don't know. I mean, if we're going to do this thing, let's do it all the way. Let's not, pussyfoot around the thing. And the other thing is, so you want to keep those guys out. Well, what about the guys who did it the right way during their career, but their numbers now look dwarfed because of the Hall of Fame, because of steroids? Jeff Kent, right? Why are we not letting Jeff Kent in? Because his numbers don't look as good anymore because he played during the steroid era, and now those numbers don't look right. So why is Jeff Kent not in? Why does Fred McGriff not get in? Why is Dave Parker not in? Why is Carlos Delgado? There are enough guys that put up some good numbers, and they didn't get in. So what are we doing? And I understand that everybody's kind of back and forth on, you guys love Kent, you hate Kent, you love Clemens, you hate Clemens, all this stuff. I get it that it's sort of polarizing. But we should have had somebody in. There are players that belong in. And I'm going to, earlier in the week, did the Hall of Fame roundtable with Hum Baby Baseball and with Eric from Hum Baby Baseball and with Tyler from Wardy NYM. We did the Hall of Fame roundtable. Check out those three, head back if you want. We did the roundtable. We talked about guys that should be in the Hall of Fame. And I came to the table with two guys. This is the first one, Omar Vasquel. Omar Vasquel, in my opinion, is a Hall of Famer. You guys let me know. Comment in the chat. 1 for in, 2 for out. Is Omar Vasquel a Hall of Famer? 11 gold gloves, 2,800 plus hits, over 400 steals. Those 11 gold gloves, he kept Cal Ripken Jr. He kept Cal Ripken Jr.'s mantle bare of gold glove awards. Cal Ripken Jr. got 2 because Omar Vasquel took it away, and Cal Ripken Jr. could not win a gold glove because Omar Vasquel was so good. And those 3 All-Stars, I don't care about the All-Stars. The All-Star game is a reward for your counting your hitting stats, for how many home runs you hit at the All-Star break, or how high your batting average is, or how many RBI you have. Omar Vasquel should be in based on his glove. We have guys who are in based on their glove. Omar Vasquel belongs in. Thank you, guys. We have a lot of ones, a lot saying in for Omar Vasquel. We got one. I got another one here. The other one that I came to the table with was Todd Helton. Todd Helton is probably going to be a little bit more, polarizing. You'd like him, you don't like him. You guys let me know. 1 for in, 2 for out. 5-time All-Star, 3-time Gold Glover, over 1,400 runs, over 1,400 RBIs. There's only something like 30 guys in the Hall of Fame that did that. 2,500 hits, and he didn't play the last 5 or 6 years of his career. He only played a full season once because he just got hurt. Just got hurt. If he stays healthy, his hit track was on pace to go over 3,000 hits. I believe Todd Helton is a Hall of Famer. You're going to say he played in Coors Field. That's the biggest argument, is that he was in Coors Field and the splits and all this. Well, if that's the problem, then get the Rockies out of Colorado. We shouldn't have a team in Colorado if that is going to be the problem, because that's great, is ever going to want to play in Colorado if you know you're never going to have a chance to make the Hall of Fame, because that's going to be held against you. That is my only so if we're going to say, well, he played in Colorado, then get the team out of Colorado if that is going to prevent a player from getting into the Hall of Fame. That's my argument. And I hear here talking about playing in Coors, then get the team out of there. I know that they're not going to like that, but the point I'm trying to make is you shouldn't. They're playing by the rules. It's not like they're in course field and that outfield is 150 feet away. Okay. That's the point. I'm not saying that they really should take the team out of Colorado. What I'm saying is the outfield, the fair foul poles, the bases, everything is the same metrics everywhere else in Major League Baseball. They're playing by the rules. They're playing by the rules. When Major League Baseball put a team in Colorado, they need to understand that was going to happen, and they just have to deal with it. They have to deal with it. Helton has been accused of using steroids. He has vehemently denied it, and it has never been proven. There was nothing. And really, him being accused of using steroids, it's not like, people accused Barry Bonds of using steroids, or people accused it was not like there wasn't a hunt on for Todd Helton. Anyway, yeah, Rockies to Honolulu. So that's the thing. That is my thing. Colorado fans, it probably drives you crazy because it's hard for one of your guys to get in the Hall of Fame. You got Larry Walker in, okay? Larry Walker and Todd Helton compare very nicely together. So if we end up having Larry Walker in, and at the end of the day, Todd Helton still has 5 more years, and we don't have Todd Helton in, there's a problem there. Anyway, let's get to this. We're going to do this rapid fire, guys. I want you guys to vote, and then we're going to get back to some Blue Jays talk. I want you guys to vote. We're going to do this rapid style, going through the comments. I'm going to put everybody up for about 10 seconds or so. Curt Schilling, in or out? Hit the 1 if you want him in. Hit the 2 if you think he's out. Curt Schilling, in or out? We're going to leave it up for about 10 seconds, and then we're going to move on to the next guy. And I'm watching what you guys are putting. We got looks. We got a bunch of 1s. Some 2s, more 1s than 2s, it looks like. Let's move on to the next one. Barry Bonds got 61.8%. In or out? Which way are you going? Do you like Bonds in, or do you like him out? I have a hard time with this. I don't like that he broke the home run records and now they're just funny numbers and you can't get to him. I don't like that. So if I don't like that, then I can't want him in the Hall of Fame. But at the same time, before the funny numbers in the steroid business, he was 400 homers and 400 steals. So you can sell me either way, quite frankly. But you guys let me know. 1 for in, 2 for out. Let's move on to the next one. Roger Clemens. In or out? Roger Clemens, in or out? How much does steroids really help a pitcher, right? That's the argument. In or out? Roger Clemens. He is considered the greatest pitcher of all time, but he had a little help. What do you guys think? Is the Rocket in or out? We got a lot of 1s for the Rocket. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, he's got the stats. All right, let's move on to the next. Let me check some more comments. We got a lot of 1s, a lot of Roger Clemens love. Moving on, Scott Rowland, big jump, 20-point jump. What do you guys think? I think if you're a Cardinal fan, a Reds fan, a Blue Jays fan, you probably like Scott Rowland for this. Hit the 1 if you think he should be in. Hit the 2 if you think he should be out. He's got a few more years to get in. But what do you think? Scott Rowland, in or out? In or out for Scott Rowland? A little more 2s for Scott Rowland here. Let him in. We got some 1s. Kind of split on Scott Rowland. It's all good. Let's move on to Billy Wagner. Billy Wagner, 46.4%. What do you think? Do you like Billy Wagner? Now, if Billy Wagner gets into the Hall of Fame, he would be the only lefty reliever in the Hall of Fame. There's lefty starters, no lefty relievers. So we would essentially be anointing Billy Wagner as the greatest left-handed reliever of all time. Are we ready to do that? You guys let me know. In 1, out 2 for Billy Wagner. 1s and 2s. It feels like it's kind of split. All right, let's keep moving. We got some 1s. All right, let's keep moving. Next up, a lot of 2s coming in late on Billy Wagner. All right, next up, Gary Sheffield. In or out? He's at 40%. The voters are just not feeling. Some of these guys that were great during the steroid era that have the steroid cloud, you got Bonds and Clemens, like they're getting up to that 60% number. Gary Sheffield, we'll get to Manny Ramirez in a minute. Sammy Sosa, some of these guys, they just don't care. They're sick of it. They're done with it, is my guess. What do you think about Gary Sheffield? 1 in, 2 out. He hit a lot of the benchmarks, but again, it's the problem of the steroids. And Sheffield's one, with Bonds, we knew he at least got to 400 before the steroids. We don't really know when Sheffield started taking. Sheffield could have been taking it the whole time. I'm okay if he's out. I understand that. A lot of 2s on Gary Sheffield. Let's get to the next one. We've got 3 more. Andrew Jones, in or out. He's only at 33%. I feel like Andrew Jones, the only problem with Andrew Jones is he played half a career. Then he got hurt, and then he just couldn't stay out on the field. He was amazing for 10 years in Atlanta. Atlanta fans, you probably die on the wall for Andrew Jones. What he did for 10 years in Atlanta was incredible. When we were watching him in Atlanta, we were telling ourselves we were watching a Hall of Famer. He was basically, you're going to kill me for this. He was basically Griffey, just but for the Braves. A lot of twos on Andrew Jones. Okay, it's all good. Let's move to the next one. Jeff Kent. Here he is. In or out on Jeff Kent. When it comes to second baseman, Jeff Kent has some of the best numbers for a second baseman of all time, and he is just chilling at that 30% number. What do you guys think? Are you putting Jeff Kent in, or is he out? 1 or 2? Hit it in the chat. A lot of twos. All right. Last one, and it is Manny Ramirez, in or out. You guys let me know. Is he in or is he out? Man, this man, the memories that he brought Boston, it's just incredible. So we are, let's see, you guys hit that 1 or 2. Is Manny Ramirez a Hall of Famer? Yes or no? The track he's on with this voting percentage is not going to happen. You guys, we got a lot of ones here for Manny. What's really fascinating to me is that Manny Ramirez is entering this will be, when he's on the ballot next year, it will be his 6th year on the ballot. And he's only at 28%. I don't know how that's working. I don't know how. We got a lot of ones. So there's a few that are not in on Manny, but it looks like most of the chat that's commenting here is giving us a 1 for Manny. It's really fascinating that he's been on the ballot for so long and he's just going nowhere. What he did with that Boston, over 500 home runs, 2,500 hits, 1,800 RBI. Some writers will tell you, before the whole steroid thing kicked in, that the pure hitting aspect of him was incredible. Slash line of 312, 411, 585. Manny did some amazing things. But again, we got steroids. We're going to go through this again with Ortiz and A-Rod next year. He was a bad outfielder, John. That is true. So anyway, that's the Hall of Fame talk, guys. We're gonna put the bow on the whole Hall of Fame thing. It really is just what happened today. I'm just not a big fan of it. I feel like they could have handled it differently, should have handled it differently. I think somebody should have got in. Schilling, he's got the 3,000 strikeouts. You got an 11-time Gold Glove winner with Vasquel. You got Helton with the 1,400 runs in RBI. You got guys that have done some amazing things. So that's just tough. Tough way to go. Everybody that's here hanging out, if you haven't yet, hit the like. Trying to get as many likes as we can for this. The support that it gives me is just paramount, and I appreciate it. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. We're having a good stream tonight. I hope you guys are enjoying it. We're interactive, been pretty interactive tonight with the projections and with the Hall of Fame stuff. So it's been we've had a good stretch here. Big hot stove, Dave, though. Big day on the hot stove. I'm just checking to see if there's anything new It looks like it's slowing down now. We have the La Stella deal. Looks like it's going to be a 3-year deal for La Stella with the Giants. And Wilson Ramos going to the Tigers, all along with the Andrelton Simmons deal, the Marcus Semien deal. That is where we are. We need 18 more likes to get to 100. Anybody that's just hanging out here, we got 150 people in here right now. If everybody would just go hit the like, that would get us to 100. Let's get to 100 before we go off this thing. Bauer will sign this week. That's an interesting, how long does this Bauer thing play out? And where does he go? Let's put the Bauer watch up. The Mets are the favorites, but that doesn't mean that's where he's going to go. That means that the Mets have an offer. This is what I think happened. Let me tell you what I think happened with this whole Trevor Bauer situation, because Bob Nightingale comes out this morning and he's saying that the Mets have a deal in front of Trevor Bauer that would set the record for average annual salary for a pitcher. And then 10 minutes later, Feinsand and Heyman are out saying, no, he doesn't. That's not what the deal is. So what do you think that's about? Do you think that's about Heyman just being wrong? I don't. This is what I think happened. I am almost certain that there was a leak situation going on there. Mets fans, you don't want to hear this. Mets fans, close your ears. I don't know if Trevor Bauer wants to go to the Mets. I don't know if he wants to go to the Mets. I think, and let me know if you agree, I think that was leaked by somebody that Nightingale felt close enough to. Maybe it was leaked by Rachel Luba. Maybe Luba called up Nightingale and said, hey, put this out there. We got this from the Mets. And Nightingale was like, I trust her. I'm going with it. Puts it out there. And then 10 minutes later, no, he doesn't. No, it's not. It's a good deal, but it's not going to set a record. What would be the motivation behind that? The motivation behind that would be to get the offers up from the other teams. Let's say, and again, I apologize, anybody that's just hopping in, 5 is supposed to be Padres, okay? So it's 5 for Padres, not Dodgers. What if he really wants to go to the Angels, or he really wants to go to the Blue Jays? And he's like, I got to get their offers up. It's just not happening. I need to get the offers up. What's the best way to do that? To say the team in the biggest market has a record-breaking deal out for me. That'll get the Blue Jays up. That'll get that Angels offer up. What if he's just using this as a way to get the offers up with the other teams? And maybe he doesn't want to go to the Mets. Again, Mets fans, close your ears. I know you don't want to hear that, because otherwise, what happened this morning with Trevor Bauer and that whole offer, that just doesn't make sense. And these guys, Bob Nightingale could do that all the time. He could rush something out there. He could have rushed out the Springer thing. When we were doing Springer Watch last week, Bob Nightingale had a source that was saying it was going down. He was looking for a second source. That those guys, they don't want to be wrong. Hazel May ate a lot of crow for being wrong about Michael Brantley. You don't want to be wrong. He doesn't want to be wrong. Ken Rosenthal ate a lot of crow about the Brad Hand situation. These guys don't want to be wrong. So I just feel like he got some bad information and got it double sourced by somebody. And I think that is probably how that all played out. Now, again, that only makes sense if he doesn't want to go to the Mets. Because if he wants to go to the Mets, why do that? There's no sense in doing that. But if he's trying to get his offer up from, maybe the Dodgers are involved, maybe the Blue Jays are involved, I think that's that logic. I can follow that logic for what the deal is. All that did to me was try to motivate other teams to increase their offer. If Rachel Luba can't get the Blue Jays to pick up the phone and call her back, or the Angels to call her back, what's the next course of action? Leak it to the media. That's what I think. And I could be totally wrong, but it makes sense. I can follow that. I can follow that logic. Right. And well, that's another good point. Asking 360, 365. Maybe what it is he just like the Blue Jays are only going 2 years and he wants to get the Blue Jays up one more year. So there was some logic. There was something behind that. And to me, what that tells me is the Bauer sweepstakes might be starting to get close to the finish line. I think the Bauer sweepstakes could be getting close to the finish line. Is he worth the big money, Bryce? I honestly don't think so. And I know that not a lot of people are going to be a fan of that, but I look at what he has been throughout the course of his career, and I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't set a record. I wouldn't give him Garrett Cole money. I wouldn't do it. I would not give him Garrett Cole money. I would honestly, I'd love to try to do a 1-year deal with him. That's not going to happen. But that's my worry, is that there's the RPMs were up career high last year. What's up with that? There's something. George thinks he's going to bust. If he does end up with the Blue Jays, listen, I'll get on board, and I will be all about Trevor Bauer to the Blue Jays. Let's go. Let's rock. Let's do this. Trevor Bauer, go out and win 20 games. I just don't think it's going to happen. But again, if it happens, I'm on board. I will be on board in a heartbeat. So, we're going to see. The other piece to this, I don't think Trevor Bauer, somebody brought it up last time, I don't think Trevor Bauer wants to play on the same team as George Springer. You kidding me? the T-shirts that Bauer wears about the Astros cheating and then go play in the same clubhouse as George Springer? No way. It's not going to happen. Trevor Bauer is not going to want to play with George Springer. And I want everybody in that Blue Jays dugout, in that clubhouse, to be singing Kumbaya, everybody happy. I don't want George Springer to be in the clubhouse and then Trevor Bauer walks in and then everybody gets quiet. I don't want that. Blue Jay fans, do you want that? No way. No way. He goes to the Angels. He can go dominate. He can go kick the Astros up and down the field, probably 4 times a season. He can go and beat the Astros if he goes to the Angels. So I'm all about go to the Angels. Do that. Make that happen. Go play with Mike Trout, the greatest player of this generation, and get that done. That's what I want to see. I want him over there with the Angels. I think that makes the most sense for him. I think that makes the most sense for baseball. I think that's what needs to happen. Ontario now likes Tanner Roark over Trevor Bauer. Hey, that's going to be, we'll have to put that on the board. Who has the lower ERA in 2021, Tanner Roark or Trevor Bauer? Could be close. Again, I know I'm throwing shade right now and I'm hating on him, but how it all plays out is going to be fascinating. I'm really interested to see if he ends up a Blue Jay again. I'll get on board and we'll be all good and we're going to rock and roll. The other big news today, Blue Jays fans, is the Marcus Semien piece. I want to know any new Blue Jay fans that are in here that didn't catch the stream when it broke around 6:30. What do you think about Marcus Semien? Comment in the chat room and let me know. What do you feel about this Marcus Semien signing? How good do you feel about Marcus Semien coming to the Blue Jays? I think it's a great move. I think that it really shows a lot about what the Blue Jays mindset is heading into this season, and kind of even gives us a hint, a clue as to what they might do next, or what their thoughts are, next. Marcus Semien is a good player. Let's roll a couple home runs for Marcus Semien real quick.
This one's hit down the left field line, headed for the corner, and that baby's gone. And that curveball is hit to left field, and that's hit well. Dickerson's back, and that baby's gone.
Had to come back to the plate. Simeon drills one to center. Robert back, looking up. It is gone. Marcus Semien to straightaway center field.
That's our new shortstop, at least for 2021. At least for 2021. Simeon is still in his prime, entering his age 30 or 31 season, so that'll be a good year for Simeon. Blue Jays do need pitching, Evan, but there's time. And follow my logic here. You just got Springer. You spent the money on Simeon. You're not going to do those deals. You're not going to spend $18 million to rip Simeon away from Oakland, because word is he wanted to go back, and the Blue Jays came in and swept him away. You're not going to do those deals if you're not serious about making a run. And what's the next move if they're going to make a run? Has to be a pitcher. There's going to be a pitcher. Yes, Brian, the lineup is absolutely stacked. Absolutely stacked, and good things are coming with this lineup. Let's take a look at the lineup again and see where there's a lot of interchangeable parts. It is a deep lineup. Deep. Randall Grichuk is hitting 8th. A lot of people don't like Randall Grichuk. Well, if Randall Grichuk is hitting 8th, that's okay, right? We're good with that if Randall Grichuk is hitting 8th. Teoscar Hernandez is hitting 7th in this lineup. I don't see how Teoscar hits above 7th, and I like Teoscar. I think we all do. That's the situation that Marcus Semien puts us in. This lineup gets really long with this group. Seager likes Rowdy than Randall. I don't necessarily disagree with you on that. I think Rowdy had a nice season in 2021, and I think that if you give him a full year at DH, let's say they trade Randall Grichuk, make him a part of a package to get some pitching, and that means Tellez is going to be the DH, I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly fine with that. This is a crazy lineup. You're right, Rick. This is absolutely crazy. Anybody that's here hanging out, hey, just a reminder, hit that like if you haven't already. We are trying to make a push to get to 100. I have no idea if we're there. Maybe somebody could check on that for me. I don't know if we're at 100 or not. Let's see. Brandon, so we got somebody talking about the Blue Jays' next move being David Price to Toronto and LA getting a deep prospect. That's not going to happen. Kyle, thanks for that tweet. I don't see that happening. David Price might not play. David Price might not play in 2021 with the COVID situation. Let's see. 100 likes. We are at 100. Great. Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for liking. I appreciate the likes. It is it's a great help for the stream. It's a great help to me. I appreciate it. And anybody that, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. We are in the push for 5,000. We are getting close to our 5,000th subscriber here, our 5,000th member of this community. We are actually only 14 subscribers away. So that means, and we got 186 eyeballs in here. I guess that's not true. That'd be 186 times 2. Who's good with math right now? But we have 186 people, give or take, in here right now. If 14 of you who have not subscribed yet would subscribe, you would help us cross over that 5,000 threshold. Josh, thank you for the sub. I appreciate that. And anybody that subs, let me know, because I will put you on the screen, and I want to thank you for subscribing. And this is another thing. I know I haven't mentioned this in a few streams, but if you're creating content, guys, if anybody in here is creating content, let me know. I'm trying to grow. I know you guys are going to want to grow. So if you're trying to grow and you're creating content, let me know. I'll give you a shout out too. We are all about people helping people here. So we are getting close. A bunch of new subs. Thank you, guys. We just jumped 12 subs. We are 4,998. We are 5,006. Thank you. You guys just made my day. This is actually better to me personally than Marcus Semien coming to Toronto. Thank you. I appreciate every single one of you that is in here and has just joined. I'm calling it BALLCAP Nation for now. I don't know if it sounds cheesy or corny. Baseball talk, thank you for the sub. Rick, thank you for the sub. Danny, thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. Straw, thank you for the sub. 222, I'm not sure what that is, but thank you for the sub. I appreciate it, guys. You just pushed me over 5,000. Thank you. I appreciate you all. We're doing some Blue Jays talk right now, and again, Thank you. So let's see here. Are the Cardinals going to do anything? Philip, I would love for the Cardinals to go out and do an Arenado trade. What do you think about that? I think you got the pieces. I think you could do it. Ronald, thank you for the sub. I appreciate that. Everybody that has subbed, we jumped like 20 subs in the last minute because you guys came in. Liam, thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. Thank you guys. We did it. We are at 5,000 subscribers. Thank you. Thank you very much. Again, I said it at the beginning, Larry. I don't know if I got you, but thank you for the sub. I said it at the beginning. I've been doing this for about 13 months. And when I first started doing this thing, I had a goal, an ambitious goal of 1,000 subscribers after a year. We're a little over a year now, and we're at 5,000 subscribers. It has been awesome. Thank you, Steel Badger. You've been here for a lot of these streams. Thank you. John Taylor, yes, we are at the 5,000. Thank you. Kyle, thank you for being here. You are a big supporter of the channel. I appreciate that. Tanaka left the U.S. Is he out? That's the word, is that Tanaka is going to probably be heading back to Japan. They will be heading back to Japan. This is going to be good stuff, guys. Jays fans, make sure you stay close because we will be doing, during the season. Here's a plan for during the season. Since we're going to be probably stuck at home most of the time, we're going to be doing a lot of the editing videos. So you'll see a lot of the head-to-heads, a lot of the player locks. We'll be doing some breakdown videos as some fun things happen on the field. And we will be doing some Blue Jays specific, some big post-game or pre-games before some big games. We'll be doing, you can find a lot of Blue Jay stuff here too. And equal assortment throughout that. So Blue Jays fans, I hope you stay close. Mark, thank you for the super chat. Awesome job. Keep it up. Quick question. What do you think the Jays' next move will make? I'm subscribed as well. Again, thank you for that. Thank you for the subscription. I think the Jays are going to go get a pitcher. I think that all signs point towards pitching, and I think that's happening. Any of the show vids coming soon? I think so. I'm thinking about doing something for the show when we get the new one out, whenever they announce that. I think we'll do something for the show. Last year we did a 2020 season projection using the show. Probably do that again. I got to figure out how to stream that live because I think I'd rather stream it live than go through and edit the thing. It's a huge pain. So I'd rather do some content for the show, doing some projections and things like that live. Hayden, thank you for the sub a few weeks ago. Everybody that has subbed at all, at any time, hit me, let me know. Remind me that you're a sub. I'd like to thank you because this has turned into a quick little 5,000 sub appreciation moment here. Danny likes Oda Rizzi or Paxton. Could happen for sure. Lostella went to the Giants. Yes, he did. And Ramos went to the Tigers. Zachary, appreciate you being a sub. Also think I see you on Twitter too, my man. So if you follow me on Twitter, I'm over there, Twitter at Jim Riley Live. I'll actually throw that up there now. If you want to, I've got the crawl at the bottom. If you want to find me on Twitter, we're trying to grow this thing and build it on Twitter too. At Jim Riley Live. It's easy to remember. Anthony, thank you for being a sub. Caden, thank you for being a sub. Seeger, I know you're a sub. Colin, sub, thank you. Bob Ross, thank you. Love Bob Ross. Larry is a sub. Evan, can the Jays still get Trevor Bauer and I sub? They could. I don't know if it's possible, but they could. Again, thank you for being the sub. Here. Thank you for being a sub. Thank you for being here. Thank you all for being here. Love the channel. Thank you, Gernster. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. BZ Baseball, you have been a sub for a while. Thank you very much. Michael, thank you for the sub. We have a sub train going right now. Thank you, guys. Anthony, thank you for that. I'm glad you love the show. Thank you very much. Steele, I know you are a sub. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the reminder. Came in at the international signing stream. Right on. That was a good one. I like that one. Did a lot for that one. That was a fun one. Brandon, you're welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining this community that I'm trying to build with you guys. So this is fun. And again, find me on Twitter. I talk baseball all day long. We got this stream going every Tuesday night. That's a guarantee. We'll get more. Every time you say sub, I think of sandwiches. It's a little late for sandwiches here, but yes, sandwiches. We've got, let's see, Mike Wilner. Well, we'll see. Let's see. Mike actually, I mean, he's not anymore, but he was with the team. It'd be fun to have some kind of affiliation with the team. We'll see. What do you think about Manoah? High ceiling guy. high ceiling guy. I think a good potential, good future, right? I want to see him. I want to see him play again. That's what was terrible about last year. You couldn't see any of the guys play. You couldn't see any of the prospects play unless they got called up to the big leagues. That to me was one of the most disappointing things is you didn't get to see, XYZ player tear it up at AA or AAA and get a call and then be all jacked up about what they were going to do with the majors. That was the disappointing part about last season. Yeah, so that was one of the bummers about last year. God, there were so many. So we'll see. Terry, hey, thank you for the sub. I'm glad you're here. Again, everybody that has come in, it's awesome. We passed 5,000 tonight. I appreciate that. So thank you for the subs. What's funny about this? Every time I refresh on my phone, it toggles back and forth and back and forth. I don't understand why it does that, because right now it's showing now we're down at 4,994. I mean, I don't think we are. It just goes back and forth and back and forth. Let me actually open up the studio and see what that's showing. Let's see. Yeah, now that's at 4,994. I don't get it. I'm sure, unless a bunch of you just unsubbed, which I don't think happened. David, thank you for the sub. Unless a bunch of everyone just unsubbed, we went back like 20. I can't imagine that happened. I don't know. This thing's crazy. I think we're at 5,000. If you unsubbed, please resub. I don't know what to say. But thank you guys for being here. Let's talk some more about the Blue Jays here. What are we going to do next? Blue Jays fans that are hanging out in here, what do you think the Jays are going to do next? It's got to be a pitching piece, right? And any Mets fans that are in here, are you most Mets fans right now are probably watching Tyler over on Wardy NYM or popping back and forth. But, how badly do you want Bauer if you're a Mets fan? Do you think that Bauer is the piece to getting to the World Series? Jays fans want a solid starter. Pitching, yep, pitching, and then pitching. I'm with you. I want to see some kind of Papa, thank you for that. Let's see. Started watching at the trade deadline. Welcome. We were doing some good trade deadline stuff back then. I remember that, yeah. So what, trade for pitching is sign Walker. I would like that. Taijuan Walker would be great. I think that Taijuan Walker would be a very nice addition. I would like to get Walker and one more piece. Let's see here. So, yeah, I don't know. The whole thing with with how YouTube has been keeping track of stuff lately is just, I don't know. It's odd. So let's see. Take Bauer away. Please sign a Phillies fan. So Phillies fan, if Bauer goes to the Mets, if you're a Phillies fan, how are you feeling about that? Does that make you nervous? What do you think? That's a big question right there. What is he? How does he impact? If he's great, that's going to be tough. If he's not, I don't know. I really don't have that thought in my mind, because when it comes to the American League East, he's either coming to my team or he's going to another part of the country. Paxton to the Jays, Evan Joseph, I think that's a real possibility. I would love for that to happen. I would be content if it was just Paxton and Walker, what they do next. Now, again, we're seeing a trend where it's sort of, sorry, I just realized I'm slouching, guys. I apologize. We've seen a trend where these teams that are going to be mentioned along with World Series contender, they've all got two aces at the top. The Blue Jays don't have that yet. And I don't want to go into the season hoping that one emerges. I want to go into the season with two aces and then maybe a third emerges, because then we go into a playoff series with three studs or two studs and maybe somebody got hurt. That's what I want. I think that's what I would love for that to happen. Roark, the problem with Roark is that he's got $13 million. Everybody else has options left. Everybody else is on the league minimum. That's the problem there. That's the problem with sitting Roark. The only way they sit Roark is if they really find better options. And then Roark's going to end up in the bullpen. I I can't wait for the Tanner Roark era to be over. Springer got 650. Yes, that's what it was. It was 6 for 150. Jays have a team now. They need a home. Well, I mean, it's probably going to start out with Dunedin. That's probably how it's all going to – that's how the season is going to begin, is in Dunedin, and then we'll see. We'll see. I think it's going to be Dunedin, which, how does that impact the team? It's going to be warmer down there than it would be certainly in Buffalo. You kidding me? Buffalo in April? You definitely want to be down in Dunedin if you can. And the ball could fly, right? This lineup could really, really go far if the ball's flying down in Florida in April. I think there's something there for sure. Jays are playing. Yeah, I do believe so too, AJ. I think it's going to be Dunedin. Plus, they're delaying the start of those in the AA and the A, all that. They're going to have a delayed start. Anybody hearing anything on what's going on in the free agent market? Is there any news? Is there anything happening? Jay should just play in Disney, and that's another option. Here's what I think probably happens: the Blue Jays will get precedence. So let's say they're still down in Dunedin when the Dunedin Blue Jays are ready to get going. The Dunedin Blue Jays will go play somewhere else. Or if that Disney option is better, the Blue Jays can go to Disney. The Blue Jays will get whatever the better option is, in my opinion. Right, no Buffalo. Yeah, it'll be Dunedin. Buffalo did a great job. I don't know what you guys feel, but I would love for there to be a Buffalo series once a year. Once this all gets settled and worked out, I think the Blue Jays should try to play a series in Dunedin, once a year. That was a nice, that would just be a nice thank you to that town. I've got connections in Buffalo, some friends, some family in Buffalo. It would be, it would be nice to see something like that. Let's see, Papa. I see you, man. I see you. But it's just too much now with the Fisher for MVP. It's not going to happen. I don't even think Fisher's still on the team. Let's see. We've got Hendricks and Paxton, please. I would love it. I think that'd be the way to go. Wainwright to the Jays. That could happen. Just depends on how much he wants. Blue Jays are in on Justin Turner. They were, but I hope it doesn't. I don't want Justin Turner. Justin Turner wants 4 years. That takes him to age 40. It's not going to happen. It's just not. It's just they're not going to do that. I think Justin Turner on a 1-year deal would work. Justin Turner for 4 years is not going to happen, especially now with this team, especially with Groshans if he's still on the team. And I know that's meant for a couple of you. I'm just kidding around. Or Martin, right? There's no point in having Justin Turner if you've got those guys. So that's it. So. Yeah, Dunedin needs Roark. Yeah, we could, again, eventually Roark will be just a memory. He's going to be the 5 starter, most likely to start the year. We'll see. What do you think of the Jays' additions to the rotation? Jays fans, how do you feel? So what do you think of the Yanks addition to the rotation? Sorry, I read that wrong, Danny. I think the Yankees have done a great job. I think the Yankees did a great job with the rotation. They needed to do that. I think the Taillon thing is nice. Here's what the rotation looks like, huh? I'm always ready. You got Cole, Taillon, Kluber, Garcia, Montgomery, and then Severino comes back. I think this is great. I think the Yankees did what they needed to do. 2 weeks ago, Taillon and Kluber were not in the equation. You had Herman in there, and you had Garcia up higher and Montgomery up higher, and you didn't have anything that you could go into the season feeling good about. Now you can feel good about this. And when Severino's back, you move him up. Taillon and Kluber move down. Garcia becomes your 5. Yankees, you're good. The Blue Jays, this is what the Blue Jays are competing against, okay? Blue Jay fans, this is what the Jays need to model the rotation after. Come October, when Severino's back, and the Yankees are going into a 5-game series or a 7-game series, and they've got Cole and Severino at the top, followed by Taillon and Kluber. If they're both pitched well and healthy, The Blue Jays have to be able to match that. That's why the Jays have to go get something. That's why they have to go and get something for sure. That is a must. So we've got to do something like that. Jays rotation. So I've got a Jays rotation if they add Kyle Hendricks. So, okay, bear with me on that. This is if the Blue Jays can add Kyle Hendricks. This is what that would look like. And again, I've got Roark in there because he's making $13 million, and they're probably going to feel like they have to start the year with Roark. Though I would much rather see what they have with Merriweather or Kay or give Barucki a shot. But you got Ryu. You'd have Hendricks at the 2. So let's say it's not Hendricks. Let's say it's Sonny Gray. Let's say it could be anybody. I mean, they could go and get Paxton could be at that 2 spot. You know, do you like 2 lefty? Boom, boom. You know, Boston's got the 2 lefty situation with Sale and Rodriguez. Do you want 2 lefties in Toronto with Ryu and Paxton? I don't know. But Ryu and Hendricks, I think, would complement each other nicely. And then you got Pearson at the 3, Ray at the 4, Roark at the 5 on a short leash. That's good. That works out. Right now, you have, without Hendricks, everybody moves up a spot, and you add Trent Thornton in. That's not a team that's going to make a run, and that's not a team that you spend $18 million on Marcus Semien for. That is why I feel like that signing is just an indication of where the Blue Jays' heads are at. Just giving you guys an update on the subscriber number. It did correct itself again. This thing's toggling all over the place. We went over. We went to 5,010. Then we went down to 4,994. I had a heart attack. Now we're back up to 5,022. This thing's all over the place. YouTube is messing with my emotions right now, and I don't like it. But we're definitely over 5,000. And again, thank you very much, everybody that has subscribed tonight. I think between the stream earlier when the Simeon deal went down and with this one, we've got something like 100-something plus subscribers today. So thank you guys. And again, thank you, David. And again, this is coming from a guy that started a channel, 13 months ago, hoping to get 1,000 after a year. And we're here where we are. So I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you. There's definitely more to come for the Jays. Wait, did Hendricks type? Aiden, sorry. No, listen, Aiden, anybody that's just hopping in, fair warning, this is not done. This is my projection rotation. Somebody wanted to see what the Blue Jays rotation looked like. So the only thing I had handy was my projection from the stream we did a couple days ago when we were talking about a potential Hendricks trade to the Blue Jays. So that's where this is from. I don't want anybody to get confused thinking, wait, what? Kyle Hent, what? That has not happened yet. This is just the potential rotation. So let's to keep anybody else from having that same confusion. Let's move some things around. Let's get to let's put the Simeon piece up. We had a comment I wanted to Delman. Do you think that the Jays tried for Bryant and Kyle but couldn't make out a deal, so they went after Marcus instead of Bryant? Well, we know the Blue Jays and the Cubs talked recently, so that's a very realistic possibility. Very realistic that happened. The Cubs, I feel like teams are digging in now, right? The Reds want Gleyber Torres for Luis Castillo, but they gave away their closer for nothing. Who knows what the Cubs want in return for Bryan and Hendricks? They know they've got 2 good players. It's a good question. It's a very real possibility. That very real could have happened. Is just one starter really enough? I think 2. So let's go back. We'll just real quick. Again, anybody that's, this is just a hypothetical. What I think they need to do, what I would love for them to do, if they want to make a push to win the East and make a run in the playoffs, it's got to be Ryu, Hendricks, there's one, Hendricks or Gray or Castillo or, insert any other pitcher that's out there that's good and available in the trade market. And you got Pearson and Ray. You got to get Roark out of there. Ray needs to be the 5. Roark's got to go. If we get to October and Roark is still in the rotation, one of 2 things happen. The team tanked or Roark is having the best season of his career. I don't think the Roark is going to have the best season of his career. So we got to get Roark out of there at some point during the year. I would like Taijuan Walker to be in that spot. That's my feeling. What about Cole Hamels or Jake Odorizzi days? I don't know if Hamels would happen. I don't know if there's a good relationship there, a good feeling between Hamels and the Blue Jays and vice versa. Odorizzi would be a nice fit. Depends on how much he wants. Odorizzi would be a nice fit. Odorizzi might be waiting to sign until Bauer signs, just to kind of get a feel for his market. That'd be my speculative guess there. That's what I would think. Let's see. Odorizzi to the Phillies contender. Sure. The Phillies have to do something to add to that rotation because it's not enough right now. Zach Wheeler was nice last year. Nola at the top is nice. You need more. I feel like they need more. Roark needs out. Roark's got to go. If this team is serious, he's got to go. Now, you wouldn't need Roark in a playoff series. You don't get to your fifth guy in a playoff series. So if he could just eat innings, but you got to get to the playoffs. And, they might need to do something. Let's see. Roark and Grichuk equals Springer salary. I know when they signed Grichuk to that extension a couple years ago, I really didn't understand it. I really didn't. Anybody seeing anything? If you're seeing anything on Twitter, I want you guys to tweet at me. I got the scroll going down at the bottom. We are, on this thing, the title of the show tonight was, Hot Stove Watch. Is anybody seeing anything? Ever since we came on, it feels like it just, the door shut on what's going on because we had the La Stella deal as we came on. We had the Simmons, Andrelton Simmons deal an hour before we came on. We had Ramos come on. We had the Simeon deal about an hour before that. We had Realmuto an hour before that. And now the well just completely dried up. Is anybody seeing anything? If you're seeing anything, tweet at me at Jim Riley Live. And if you follow me, I'll follow you back. I would really be interested if you're seeing anything because it seems quiet. We had a flurry of moves there and just nothing's happening now. We got nothing going on. And I want something to happen. It'd be great for something to break while we're hanging out here. Mancini to the Braves, possibly Ken Rosenthal. Let's talk about the Orioles for a second. What are they doing? They're going through these arbitration deals trying to delay the money. Are you kidding me? The Orioles are a mess. They are a dumpster fire. Somebody said it earlier. Dylan Rowe, I see you just followed me on Twitter. Thank you for the Twitter follow. I'll follow you back. If you give me a follow on Twitter, I'll shout you out and I'll follow you back. Again, it's at Jim Riley Live. It's scrolling at the bottom. But the Orioles are an absolute dumpster fire. I am just shocked at how that organization is being run. It is a massive disappointment. I think that they are a complete mess. Now that is to the Blue Jays' benefit. That is great for the Blue Jays, but it's just bad for baseball. CB Philly, it is bad. And listen, when you're a fan of a team that the front office has no idea what they're doing, that's just hard to swallow because there's nothing to look good. Nothing good to look forward to. Eason, Grichuk for Mats, I wouldn't do it. I think Mats is bad news. I wouldn't. We got Steel Badger as a Pirates fan. It's tough, man. The trades that they're talking about doing, the Bell trade. Do you feel good about what you got for Bell? Tyone, Musgrove. You got a lot back for Tyone, so you got to feel good about that. What about Chris Archer to the Jays? I would like that. That's another move. There's a handful of moves. Chris Archer, James Paxton, Shoemaker. There's a lot of guys out there that if you can get them on a one-year deal, sort of a one-year show me what you got kind of deal, I think Chris Archer could pitch very well in that situation. I'd be all about it for Chris Archer. Ryan Mountcastle is good. I do like Ryan Mountcastle. We did a player lock video for him when he debuted. I don't think he got a hit, but he got 2 walks. 2 walks in the Ryan Mountcastle debut. When I say something like that, I feel like I'm a baseball encyclopedia. I'm not, but, it's funny. What's your thoughts on Marwin Gonzalez, Brian? I don't have a whole lot on Marwin Gonzalez. I think he's a good player, can fit into a lot of different spots. He's the kind of guy that, to me, it feels like he's still going to be out there come spring training. I feel like there's going to be a lot of guys still out there spring training. Owen, after this year, Blue Jays should prepare to sign someone from the shortstop class of 2022. Maybe that's why they just did Simeon for 1 year. Maybe they want to make a real play at Trevor Story. God, I'm a big Trevor Story guy. I think that would be cool. Let's see. Who should the Red Sox get? They've sort of shown their hand with what they're going to do with the rotation. They're making nice moves, no big splashes. They're trying to get back ready for when Sale's going to be back. I don't know if Boston does much else. I think they're still attached to Jackie Bradley Jr., right? So maybe that happens. Daniel Arenado to the Jays. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think the Jays want to take on that salary. It is actually, based on the metrics, starting to look like Arenado might be entering a downslope in his career. So I wouldn't want to do that. Larry Fitzgerald is saying that the Yanks offered Rosenthal a deal, but obviously it didn't happen because they got Kluber. So if again, anybody that sees something like that, tweet it at me. Let me know. We've got a couple other new followers. Cran. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Thank you for the follow over on Twitter. Let's see. We got Zachary. I got you. Gernster and Aiden. You've all followed me recently. I followed you back. Don't unfollow me. This is not a follow train situation. If you unfollow me, I'll see it and I'm out too. So let's hang tight. Let's talk baseball. So I appreciate that. Do you see the Jays possibly getting another good quality pitcher? Possibly getting Osuna? I don't think so. I think Osuna's, there's too much baggage with Osuna. I don't think that'll happen. Rick Porcello to the Jays. Now, Rick Porcello falls in that category that I was talking about with Chris Archer and James Paxton, but I feel like the ceiling is higher with Archer and Paxton than it is with Porcello, so I would pass on that. Are the Rays going to get pitching after losing Snell or Morton? Papa, I want you guys, I see you. I want you guys to go, if I'm doing this thing, if I'm the baseball GM god and I can just place guys in spots that I think make sense, right? Like if I'm doing an MLB The Show Dynasty season simulation and I'm putting players on teams, I'm putting Jake Odorizzi on the Rays. I want him for the Blue Jays, but I think Jake Odorizzi makes sense to go to Tampa. Obviously, they'd be reuniting. They need to do something because Snell's gone and Morton is gone. So I think they do something. Blue Jays should trade for Alex Cobb. Not a bad idea. Just kind of wonder. I don't know if the Orioles would do it. I don't know if the Orioles front office would do it. Who wins the NL Central? Pretty bad division. The NL Central is going to be the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals can sleepwalk their way to the Central. The Brewers will be a problem. The Brewers could have something to say about that, but I don't know. There's just something wasn't right with the Brewers. The Brewers pitching isn't right. We have Brewers fans in here. If you're still in here, Brewers fans, what's holding you back? I feel like it's the pitching. Cardinals have better pitching. Thoughts on the Simeon signing? I absolutely love it. I think that it shows that the Blue Jays are going for it. They're not going to spend $18 million on him and waste it and not make more moves. So I think more moves to improve their chances when they get to the playoffs. So I think that means pitching is coming. I love it. And I love the lineup. This is what the lineup would look like with Marcus Semien. This is great. Randall Grichuk is 8th. Teoscar Hernandez is 7th. It's kind of fluid between that 4 through 8 spot. It could move. Anybody could move anywhere between that spot. And that's just 1 through 9 because Alejandro Kirk could hit 300 this year, right? I think that's a very real possibility that Alejandro Kirk could have one of the highest batting averages on the team hitting out of that 9 spot. So I am a fan. Steel Badger for Brewers. Yes. Need more starters. Yep. That Brewers need to work on that starter. But I love this Simeon deal, and I think that the Jays are in a great spot with him. I'm a big fan of it. We were looking at it earlier. I'll put it up again. We've got his projection, a nice projection here. Again, this is projecting up about 60% of what he could be. 93 runs, 25 homers, 73 RBI. That is where he's hitting in the lineup. If he's hitting lower in the lineup, I think you flip-flop the runs and the RBI, but pretty good projection there. And I just got to say, talked about earlier, I tweeted this out when I first saw it, and this was about a half hour before the deal broke. I can't remember if it was Feinsand or Heyman or whoever, but Carlos Baerga, remember him? Second baseman, switch hitter, Indians, made hitting home runs from both sides of the plate in the same game. Cool. Carlos Baerga had it that Marcus Semien was going to the Blue Jays about a half hour before it went anywhere else, which, shame on me because I still didn't have my stuff together for when the deal went down. I was still sitting down to have dinner when the tweet came out, and I was like, oh, crud. I gotta get some things together. So, but again, shout out to Carlos Baerga doing some reconnaissance for us there. So I'm a big fan of that deal for sure. Do Merriweather Hatch come up? I hope so. I want to see him. For sure. I'm glad they signed for 1 year because he's not guaranteed to have a good offensive season. Right. I mean, but here's a good thing, Owen, is that he is going to be motivated to have, he's in a walk year, right? He's in a walk year. He's got to perform because the next contract could be the last chance for him to get a big contract. So I love that. Dylan, Chris Bryant to the Jays, possible? Probably not at this point. Not with that. I say I know the Angels got a pitcher, but any rumors about Bauer or anybody, I think Bauer makes sense. Hey, David, welcome in. David Knight, everybody. David Knight, if I know you're doing some content, I'll give you a shout. David Knight does some content on his channel. Make sure you guys check out David when you have some time, maybe after this stream, or if this stream puts you to sleep when you wake up tomorrow. Do you think the Jays get Woodruff or Burns? I don't see it happening. Do I play MLB? If so, you do like play? Yeah, Aiden, that's not a bad idea. I do play the show. I haven't played it much lately, but I do play it, regularly. Again, I'm kind of on a hiatus right now, and it could be fun. I got to figure out how to, because if I did that, I would want to stream that, and I got to get that squared away. And with the PlayStation 5 and the next game on the next gen, I just got to figure that out. I'm not ready right now to do MLB The Show 20, anything like that on here. I just don't have the tech figured out yet. If anybody in here, okay, let's do this real quick. Anybody in the chat room right now that plays MLB The Show, I know, yes, it is dead right now. There's no new content. It is. But anybody that plays MLB The Show and streams it, please get at me. I need you to tell me how you're doing it. If you're streaming MLB The Show on YouTube, I need you to get at me. So the best way to do that is to get at me on Twitter. Okay. Again, MLB The Show players that are streaming it know how to stream it, right? Come find me on Twitter at Jim Riley Live. I will follow you back so we can DM. You got to tell me how it works. I have not gotten the next gen console yet. Let's see. MLB The Show 13, the game. What about MLB? What was it? MLB. Oh, I'm forgetting the last one the EA did. That was it right there. That was the game. Whatever the last MLB game that EA put out, that was it. Have you seen RBI baseball? I haven't seen RBI baseball, but that is, yes, they are. I don't know what they're doing. It's like they're trying to be nostalgic. Yes, MVP baseball. Thank you, David. Yes, MVP baseball. That was it. They knew what they were doing. That game was great. I can only imagine if MVP baseball still had it with all this extra stuff. MLB The Show's doing a fair job with content and everything. They've got the online play figured out. But John plays MLB. Hit me on if you play it and you stream it. Find me on Twitter at Jim Riley Live. I want to DM with you and figure out how to do it. Let's see here. The Realmuto. Rick's talking about Realmuto. Big deal for the Phillies. They had to get that down. They had to get that. Let's see. Jack, you big MLB The Show guy. Again, I play it. I haven't played it much lately just because I've literally been, laser focused on this. But if I can blend playing MLB The Show into this, I'll do it, which means we can do some streams. Mike Trout have a comeback year, or is he? No, Mike Trout's going to be a beast again next year. Mike Trout will be unreal again next year. His metrics are just pointing in the right direction. He's becoming more of a home run hitter. Let's see. Phillies sign Realmuto and probably still not getting pitching. I think they'll do something. There's so much pitching still available. I think they'll do something. We're at that 2-hour mark when the voice starts to go. I don't know if you can tell, but it is starting to get a little groggy. So I've got my water here. How do you see the Padres doing? Big Island? You know how I think the Padres are doing. The Padres are going to be pushing the Dodgers for the West. I think the Padres have a chance to get to the World Series if they can get over the Dodgers. You know, National League, in my opinion, goes Dodgers, Padres, Braves, with the Mets right there breathing down their neck. And all it'll take for the Padres to get over the Dodgers is, you know, for some injuries or for some things to, you know, go the Padres way and not the Dodgers way. It's going to be fantastic to watch. Did Kyle Hendricks get traded, or is it just rumors? Just rumors. Just rumors. In your opinion, what's a scarier lineup, Jays or Yanks? I might start leaning Blue Jays at this point after Simeon. Might start leaning Blue Jays. This was the deal they needed. You know, this was the deal they needed. Now the lineup 1 through 9 is just tough. You can strike Gary Sanchez out. Well, I could strike Gary Sanchez out. You know, I think you can navigate through that lineup, and they're always getting hurt. Yankees lineup has to stay healthy. World Series prediction. Listen, I don't think enough has changed yet. It's getting close, but I had a prediction about a month ago. I'm going to stick with it. I think it's Dodgers and White Sox. I want to make it Dodgers and Blue Jays, but I can't because that pitching isn't there yet. But I would say Dodgers and White Sox at this point. Overrating Simeon for one good season. Larry, what I'm saying is, if you put him on, he's had a nice career. Is he the guy he was in 2019? No. I don't want, again, no. But what I'm saying is, you put him in a situation where he's going to want to play up to that number because he's in a walk year. Will we have a 2019 repeat? No. But could we have a light version of 2019, which would still make him pretty great? I'm taking it. Let's see here. Love you hearing White Sox. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm a Jays fan, but I'm analytically, just everything that the White Sox have done. You've got Abreu, you've got Anderson, just the lineup is great. I think that pitching rotation has got the depth that I talk about. You've got 2 guys at the top of the rotation. If you enter a 5-game series and you got to face Giolito and Lynn, and then after that, you got Keuchel. I think the White Sox are a problem. So I think the White Sox are top. Now, the Blue Jays get another pitcher. You know, I might start sounding like a homer and put my team in there. But for right now, I'm doing that. Who would you like best right now for your team, relief or starter? I want a starter, Aiden. I want a starter. I want them to go. I want them to go trade for Kyle Hendricks. That's what I want them to do. Go get Kyle Hendricks. Go get Sonny Gray. Go get one of those deals, or just go get Paxton and Walker and let's go. You know, make a trade during the season for that ace. You know, they could do that too. That's the other thing. They could go get Paxton and Walker, save some money, figure, you know what, let's see what we got, and then come June, we'll make a trade for the ace. They could do that. Apple or Android? I have Apple. I have Apple products. My computer's not an Apple. My computer is something. I don't know what it is right now, but it's not an Apple. Pagoda, I think the Jays could get Woodruff and be the 2 that would be. I mean, you know, I don't think the Brewers are going to want to trade him. The Brewers need him too much. Let's see, David. I agree. Coleman sign. Yeah, Nats could. I don't know. I mean, David, I think the Nats, when it comes to the bullpen, I don't know if they'll go Colomé though. I do think they probably want to add another piece, but I don't think they want to go Colomé. Yeah, Rick, Simmons is not going to the Angels. He's going to the Twins. Do you think the Jays will sign Bauer from Dillon FC? I do not think so. I do not think that's going to happen. It could happen. I just don't think it is going to happen. Thank you guys, everyone that is here. This has been a fun stream tonight. Not going anywhere yet. Don't want you to think I'm going anywhere, but just want to remind you, if you haven't yet, hit the like on the video. If you haven't liked it yet, you're hanging out and you're just like, hey, I'm sitting here watching this. What else can I do? Hit the like. Would appreciate that. It helps the stream, helps me. It is tremendous if you can do that. So hit the like if you haven't yet. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. This was a big night tonight. We passed the 5,000 number. Again, everybody that's in here, thank you so much. But we are growing this community. We are on our way to the next milestone. Come and join. Be a part of it. If you haven't subscribed yet and you're hanging out and you like baseball talk, I think this is a good place for you. So subscribe if you haven't already. Appreciate it. And let me know. Chat. Hop in the chat. Let me know that you subscribed. I will give you, I would like to thank you. Bauer to Mets, I think that's most likely. Bauer will probably end up with the Mets. Yeah, I agree with that. I think is most likely to do that. Orion, thank you for the like. Let's see. I don't think people. David, thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Again, anybody that does the super chat, and Meyer, thank you for the subscription. Thank you for that. Anybody that gets super chat, I'm not asking for the donations. I truly appreciate them. But if you get the super chat, you get the shout out. You can control the conversation. You can take the conversation in a whole nother direction if you want to. David, if there's anything you want to talk about, you want to talk about Nats for a minute? Tell me, David, give me your Nats prediction. Let me know what you think. Where are the Nats? Are they? Is third the ceiling right now? What do you think? And do you have another move? Tell me. We'll talk about the Nats for a minute. Let's see. 4 years, 110 for Bauer to LA. We'll see. I mean, we talked about it earlier with the whole Bauer situation. That Nightingale piece of information this morning with Bauer really made me wonder where to come from. I mean, he's not just going to drop that and have nobody have given it to him, right? So I feel like there was something there. I feel like that was a leak job by somebody in Bauer's camp, and they're doing that because they're trying to get somebody else's offer up. That's what I think is going on. Right now, I say third place. I think it's going to be tough. The Braves, the Mets, the Nats. But the good news is, with the way baseball's set up right now, you can still get the wild card at that number 3 spot. That's going to be the National League East is going to be so fun to watch. I'm glad the Blue Jays aren't in it. Just put it that way. I'm glad they're not in it. For so long, the American League East was the beast, and maybe it will be again. This year or next year, if the Rays reload and the Red Sox reload. But for right now, that National League East is scary. Bauer's not going to sign a 4-year deal. Evan, what do you think? He's going to go 5? Do you think? I don't think he's going to do 1 anymore. I know he's talked about that, but I think it's going to be. I think he wants a multi-year deal for sure. We are at midnight in the East. Anybody on the East Coast, thank you for staying up late and hanging out for the nightcap. That's what this is. This is the nightcap. We are having a nightcap and putting the day that was to bed. Let's see. When did the channel start, Zachary? So I think if you look it up, I think I actually started an account in like 2018 at some point, or 2017. I don't remember. But I didn't start posting content regularly until around December of 2019. That's when I really started doing it. I had a couple things that I just put up for the heck of it, but wasn't serious about it. Wasn't actually trying to create something until December of 2019. Thank you guys for that. Yes, appreciate that. Let's see here. My favorite baseball team, Orion, is the Toronto Blue Jays. Always the hat's that way. If it is a strictly Blue Jay video, you'll see the hat forward. If we're talking about everything, you'll see the hat backwards, and we're talking about everything tonight. Let's see. Oh, and I don't think the Jays should sign Sonny Gray because he's had some bad years. He had some bad years with the Yankees when he went to the Yankees, and the Yankees wanted him to throw his slider, and that's not Sonny Gray's bag. That's not his thing. So, I think he would probably be okay with Toronto. Jason, 1 a.m. in the Atlantic. Where are you in the Atlantic? Are you on a boat? Jason, are you on a boat? Where are you? Where's everybody at? We are at midnight in the East. It is 1 in the Atlantic. We got Jason on a boat in the Atlantic Ocean somewhere. I don't know what's going on. Where is everybody? Where are you at? Are you in the East? Are you... A couple weeks ago, we had somebody from Australia hanging out. Where are you guys at? What time is it where you are? Jason is in Nova Scotia. Okay. That makes more sense. Probably not good internet coverage in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Steel Badgers in Chicago. SS, the 20 noob, is in the East. Dillman is in Tampa. Love Tampa. Used to go down to Tampa a lot. I used to work for Westfield, and they've got 3 malls down there. So I'm very familiar with the Tampa area. Zachary's in New York. Burn It Down's in Toronto. I got to think we got some Toronto in here. Let's see. Jersey. Orion Hunter's on another planet. I hear you, man. Let's see. East. Maritimes. Nova Scotia. Manila. It's 1 p.m. Good for you. I don't know. Every time it's like midnight, I just envy people who the next day has already started and it's the middle of the afternoon. Some Atlanta, some Canada. The internet out there is not great. We got Cuba in the house. Toronto's in the house. Northeast Ohio is in the house. North Bay, Ontario's in the house. Puerto Rico's in the house. Philly's in the house. Again, where's everybody from? We're doing a roll call. Where is everybody from? KC is in the house. Again, Philly's in the house. Puerto Rico. Is that different? Ben, you have to educate me. I am in Maryland. Not as fun. I'm in Maryland. I'm sandwiched between the DC and Baltimore metros. Vancouver Island is in the house. London, Ontario is in the house. Seoul is in the house. Canada's here. LA is here. Long Island is here. Canada. Manitoba. East Harlem. Wardy, what's up, my friend? Wardy is in the house. We're just doing a roll call right now. We're not even talking sports anymore. We're off that train. We're just talking about where everybody's from. Welcome in, buddy. How was your stream tonight? I know you were streaming too. Big Mets Day, but potentially Big Mets Day. Maybe tomorrow will be the bigger day. Maybe something will go down tomorrow. We'll have to see. You'll have to let me know. Tyler, if you're still in here, Wardy, NYM, if you're still in here, give me your hot take. Is a Bauer signing going to happen tomorrow? Let me know. Let's see. John's in Toronto. Jose is in New York. Scarborough. Jonathan's in Scarborough. John's in Toronto. We are all over the place. I love it that we are all over. Let's see here. So anyway, London, Ontario, Bauer signing soon. You know, I got to think it's coming soon. I really do. I think the Bauer thing is going to happen soon. I think today was an indication of that. I think that he's getting his offers. I think he wants his offers up. So I think somebody leaked, maybe Rachel Luba leaked. Now I'm just maybe. If Rachel and Trevor find this and somebody clips it and send it to him or whatever, listen, all this is maybe. It's pure speculation. But I just feel like there was some kind of leak situation here. Maybe it wasn't them, but it was somebody just to try to get some other offers up. You know, that could be the case. Just guessing. Wardy, it was great. We're having a great one here. I doubt Bauer signs tomorrow, but I hope so. You think Bryant is still to the Jays? I don't, not after the Marcus Semien deal. I think the Marcus Semien deal puts the kibosh on that. I think the Blue Jays could be in the market for Chris Bryant next year. I think Chris Bryant, if he rides it out in Chicago for a year or gets traded somewhere else and doesn't resign, Blue Jays could be in on him next year. The Marcus Semien deal sort of gives you an indication that the Blue Jays have about 18 to 20 to work with next year too, because he won't, Simeon might not be back. So they could put that 18 to 20 towards Bryant or towards Trevor Story. And it also, I think there's another indication that this is showing just how much the Blue Jays are in it for 2021. They wouldn't just drop $18 million on a guy and not go for it. So more moves are coming for the Jays. Orion wants to know the favorite baseball player. I feel like it changes by the day, and it also changes depending upon my fantasy baseball team. My favorite baseball player has gone from Max Muncy to Ronald Acuna Jr. to Tommy La Stella to any Blue Jay. Pick one. It's hard. But I guess it's obviously going to be a Blue Jay, and I'm going to say the favorite right now is probably Bo. But again, I feel like that changes too. Let's see. How did I become a Jays fan? Brandon asking how I became a Jays fan. When I was a kid, I can tell that quick short story. Papa, real quick, they need to sit Springer and start Fisher. Not going to happen. Stop it. Papa, you're going into timeout for that one. 5-minute timeout for Papa. Became a Jays fan when I was a kid. My dad took me to a game at Skydome. We lived in upstate New York at that point, Watertown, New York, for anybody that's familiar. Went over the lake, Kingston, around the corner, down to Toronto, went to a Jays game. We went to see the Orioles because that was my father's favorite team, trying to get me exposed to the Orioles. And we get there, and I basically just fell in love with the team. I loved the stadium. They had the better team at that point. This was the late 80s, so the team was good. And it was more exciting. And maybe the ultimate deciding factor was that my favorite color was blue. So when you're like 8, picking a favorite team, the color of the team has a lot to do with it. So that's how that ended up going. So I switched on my dad, and then it was blue. Oh, and what would you give up for Sonny Gray? Well, let's see. We know the Luis Castillo market is Gleyber Torres, so you can't think they want that much back. I would like to package something like Grichuk and Groshans, and then, a prospect between 15 and 20, another pitching prospect, something like that. I would do something like that. I'm okay with Jordan Groshans. We talked about it earlier. There are a lot of people that disagree with me, but I would move on from Jordan Groshans. Yes, opposite of your dad's. I totally just flipped on him, right? I totally did. Let's see. You see the Blue Jays maybe going international for pitching, maybe Cuba. I mean, the Jays are always good about the international market. I don't think there's any other big names from Japan that have been posted at this point. They've either signed or they've had to go back. Alomar's best. Alomar's my favorite player growing up, and he was amazing at second base. Let's see. If Hendricks goes to Angels, do you think that would be the deal? How do you mean? If Hendricks goes to the Angels, what do you think? Oh, would be the deal. I think the Angels would have to get – the problem with the Angels system is they don't have a whole lot. Like after Adele and Marsh, it kind of starts to get thin quick, so I don't know what they would give up. I don't think Hendricks is enough for Joe Adele. No way. Maybe it's a Brandon Marsh straight up. I don't know. I don't know. I knew the Jays turned a corner when they got Alomar and Carter in the 90. Yep. That was fun. But as a kid watching that happen, like I really liked Tony Fernandez and Fred McGriff. Having them go, like, obviously got over it real quick because with Carter and Alomar came a lot of winning. But I love McGriff and I love Fernandez. That was tough to watch them go. McGriff should be in the Hall of Fame. I just want to put that out there. So, yeah, that was a tough trade. Grosh's future third baseman gives flexibility if you have Martin in the outfield. I mean, I get that. I totally do understand that. But what if he chokes out at AA? You know what I mean? Like, if we can get something proven back to try to win the World Series this year or win the American League, I'm okay if we have to give up Jordan Groshans to do that because we don't know what Jordan Groshans is going to be. What if Jordan Groshans turns into Brett Lowry? What if Jordan Groshans turns into Travis Snyder? You could trade Jordan Groshans to somewhere else and, maybe he turns into just garbage that doesn't – I would take the proven. What a joke Hall of Fame voting was today. I'm with you, Tyler. That was awful. We talked about that earlier, went through a whole big thing about that. I was so disappointed. Everybody, Tyler and Hum Baby Baseball, Eric, and we did a round table talking about who should be in the Hall of Fame. And apparently no writers were listening to us because they didn't put anybody in. But you can go back. We did a nice 3-channel cross collaboration. The three of us might be a fun watch if you are into my channel and Tyler's channel and Hum Baby Baseball channel. We did a nice thing. But yes, Kurt Schilling's Hall of Famer, 3,000 strikeouts. Give me a break. Only 15 other pitchers have done it. Yes, he's said some awful things. He's a jerk. But there's a lot of people who have said awful things and a jerk and have done awful things that are in the Hall of Fame. So you just can't. Rick Smith likes Jimmy Key. Jimmy Key was the man. So yes, I think they made a big mistake today. I'm disappointed with how that goes. If you don't want to get the steroid guys in, I understand that. We keep Bonds out, we keep Clemens out, we keep Manny down, we keep Sheffield down, but Vasquel is warranted, Kent is warranted. There's names that should be in there. It's disappointing. And it's not any better next year. Go look at who's coming up next year. Tyler, if you're still here, go look up who's coming up next year. Big Poppy's coming up with his steroid allegations. And then you got A-Rod coming up. And oops, I think a syringe just fell out of his pocket on his way to the Hall of Fame. Like, this is not good. We'd have 2 years in a row with no Hall of Fame admittance. It's real. That could happen. Anyway, it's disappointment. Owen, agree with you on Grosh. There's no need for him if we have a stacked infield. Right. That's the thing, because you also have Austin Martin, who's going to be, and according to some, has already eclipsed Jordan. You look at the top 100 rankings, Austin Martin's ahead of Jordan Groshans already. Papa, I'm sorry, man. I don't want to put you in timeout, but it's just we got to take it easy. I see you, man. I'm basically staring at the chat right now. I'll tell people, if you got to put it out there twice, I put it out there twice. But if it's like 4, 5, 6 times, I can't. I'm sorry. I don't want to put you in timeout, but I'm glad you're back. Let's see what happens when a team. Papa, here's the thing. I'm glad you're back. Next question. I'm watching for you. Put up your next question. I got you on the next one. What happens when a team goes over luxury tax? They got to pay a penalty. They get hit pretty hard. Teams are not going to want to go over the luxury tax this year. It's bad news. A-Rod will not be a Hall of Famer ever. I agree with you. They're not letting Bonds in. They're not letting Rodriguez in. It's not going to happen. Now, here's the thing. All these guys, a committee in 20 years is looking at this, and the way we view this stuff is different. I have a feeling you could see, Bonds, A-Rod, and Clemens get in at least. I could see that happen. How many years left on Sonny Gray's contract? Good question. Let's look that up real quick. Sonny Gray, he's got a few years left. I want to say he's got like 3 years left or so. He signed through, okay, he's got 2 years left. He's got 2021 and 2022. Do you think Fisher wins an MVP? I get it. No, I do not. Let's see. Jimmy Key and David Cohn were awesome. It was great. Does signing Simeon essentially say we aren't signing Bauer? I don't think so. Initially, I did, but it's just a 1-year deal. So because it's just a 1-year deal, I think that they could still be in on Trevor Bauer. Is anybody seeing anything? This is also where this is Bauer watch. This is a hot stove watch. Is anybody seeing anything that's going on their social media feeds that looks like something to monitor? I'm not seeing anything. It's pretty quiet. We came on here and there was a flurry of moves. We had like 6 moves just a couple hours before we came on, and now it's quiet. Celtex has got nothing. No one wants to go over luxury tax. Exactly. Exactly. Let's see here. What pitchers do you see the Jays signing? I think they'll be in the market for guys like Paxton and Archer, Porcello, maybe guys that they can do a 1 or 2 year deal with, maybe $5 to $10 million. I think that's kind of where it's going to go. Papa, who are the top 3 starters that the Jays could get? So I would like to see something like Taijuan Walker, James Paxton, and then a bullpen guy. Honestly, add to the bullpen. If we're just going starters, then I would like to see something like Archer, Walker, and Paxton. But I don't think they need 3. Do you think if the Mets sign Bauer and he pans out, where'd it go? The Mets have the best rotation in baseball? I do not. Padres still have the best rotation in baseball. Poppy will get in the Hall of Fame. Now, if David Ortiz gets in the Hall of Fame, that opens up a Pandora's box for Major League Baseball. Now, here's what's interesting about this, guys. Let's talk about the Hall of Fame for a second. It's going to be the last year for Clemens and for Bonds and for Sosa. Next year's the last year. It's going to be the first year for Ortiz and Rodriguez. So the writers could pull the ultimate job by letting Ortiz in on his first year and then never have to deal with people saying, well, are you going to let Bonds and Clemens and Sosa in? Because they'll be off the ballot. Sorry, we can't. They're off the ballot, but we like David Ortiz. It'd be the ultimate job right there. Which prospects you see the Jays calling up this season? Good question. Let me pull up the Blue Jays prospects. I don't know if we've got any big ones right now. I don't think Martin's coming up. Groshans is not coming up. Last year, not having a season for these guys really hurt and delayed their arrival. You know, MLB thinks that Simeon Wood Richardson could be up in 2021, but he didn't pitch above A, so I don't see that happening. No big names. There's no big names on the horizon. Maybe we get a look at Kevin Smith finally. No big names. That's the reality of it. Let's see. Yeah, we got a Hall of Fame. Yes. Yes. I never understood why the Jays were so interested in Derek Fisher. Well, Derek Fisher came up with the Astros with some promise, right? He's got pop and some speed. They thought that he could work out, that they could turn him into something, and it just didn't happen. Do you think Joe Adell will have a comeback? Joe Adell's going to start the year in the minors, and I think he'll be fine. It was just too soon for him. That's for sure. You think Story's going to be traded? Listen, the Rockies are going to finish in last place potentially in the National League West, whether they have Trevor Story and Nolan Arenado or not. So if they can work out deals and better their team for the future, when the Dodgers and Padres are maybe on the downside, they should do it. Where do you think Turner will go? I think Justin Turner will end up back in with the Dodgers. I think he will end up with the Dodgers. Story's a franchise player, right? You'd like the Rockies to build around him, but the Indians should have built around Lindor, and they didn't do it. So that's all that. It's kind of crazy. Anybody that's here, hit the like if you haven't hit the like yet. We are trying to get to as high a number. We're trying to get to a what are we at? Somebody check the likes for me. Where are we on the likes right now? Trying to get a feel for it. Looks like we are at, I can't tell. This isn't giving me what I want. Looking at, what are the likes at? Who's got it? Let's do this. What are the likes at? Where are we at? Do we have a goal that we can try to get to here before? Let's see. We're at 100. We're at 159 likes, which is a good number. Everybody, I appreciate everybody that has liked. If you haven't liked, let's see how close we can get to 200 before we wrap up. If you have not liked yet, take a second, hit the like. Would appreciate it. Let's see how close we can get to 200. Tino wants the goal to be 200. If everybody in here hits the like that is still here, we're at 138. I got to think we have a handful that, listen, you get into the stream, you just start watching it, you don't think about it. This is a reminder, hit the like if you haven't already. Really helps me and again, shows your support. If you are into the Jays, if you're into Derek Fisher, hit that like and let's see how close we can get to 200. And if you haven't subscribed yet, would love for you to join this community that we're building. Would love for you to join the number, our subscriber number. We crossed over 5,000 with the stream today, which was awesome, and I appreciate it. And if you do subscribe, let me know in the chat because I would like to thank you. Let's see. Do you think the Jays should trade good pitching prospects for a good starting pitcher? I do, Vincent. I do. I'm on board. If they can go get Kyle Hendricks or Sonny Gray for a major league guy, maybe Randall Grichuk, because that lineup, they can move on from Randall Grichuk. I don't know how much trade value he's got, but so you have to have a prospect in there. Maybe Jordan Groshans goes or somebody like that. You're going to have a good prospect. But if you're getting somebody that's going to be on the team for a few years, I'm okay with that. Hendricks is signed for another 3 years, I think it is. So, you got Sonny Gray for 2 more years. Kyle Hendricks has 3 more years. Neither of them are on a salary that's outrageous. I would totally do it. Let's see. Will I remember you? I will always remember you guys. You guys are here early on. So thank you. Let's see. Zachary has been subscribing since the beginning of 2020. Thank you for being here early on. I think I remember that. Zachary, did I see you? I'm trying to remember. We were doing some, I was doing some postseason videos, and there was somebody, I feel like it was you, that I was posting those suckers at like 1 a.m. and commenting on like everyone that I was posting. Was that you? Am I remembering that correctly? Anyway, yes, take Mats. No, we're not taking Mats. No Steven Matz for the Blue Jays. Not going to happen. I tell you what, I'll give you Derek Fisher. It was you. The memory's working. We'll give you Derek Fisher for Steven Matz. What do you think? Let's do a deal. I have a collab idea with that, Tyler. You and I, we need to play GM and broker some trades. Let's see. We should go up to Trevor Story or Baez. Yeah, I mean, Simeon's here for this year, and then we'll see after that. There'll be a lot of guys. There'll be a lot that they'll be in the market for. Let's see. Rum's my favorite one. Rum is my favorite one. Hit the like if you like rum, and hit the like if you're too young to drink rum, because one day it'll be awesome. Sorry, we're trading. I know. I'm sorry, Papa. I just traded Fisher for Steven Matz. I'm sorry. Don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me. If you're just tuning in, big deal just went down between the Mets and the Blue Jays. A trade between that I and Wardy NYM we brokered. We got a trade. Breaking news. We are doing Steven Matz to the Blue Jays, Derek Fisher to the Mets, exchanging sides. A deal is done. Matz for Fisher, done with Wardy and me. We got that deal done. Call the Blue Jays, call the Mets, let them know the deal is done. Matz for Fisher. Your garbage for my garbage. We just trade garbage and we'll see what happens. Yes, hit the like if you like rum. Let's see. What's your favorite genre of music? I like everything. I like hip hop. I like rock, classic rock. I can get down with jazz. You can give me. I mean, I like everything. Mark Jones. We're just having fun. We're just having fun. Not a real deal. Not a real deal. But we're having fun with some graphics that we have. Let's see. You sound like that one BS reporter. Yeah, we're just making stuff up at this point. Oh, man. Speaking of sounding, this voice is going, guys. This voice is going. You think Vladdy will break out? I do. I'm all for a Vladdy breakout season. If he can hit the ball in the air 5% more than he has for his career, he's like only 20% fly ball guy. If he can become a 25% guy, we'll see some improvement. I don't see the point of MVP. I mean, good point. Good point. That's a very true point. I listen to everything. Yeah. And at this point, what is classic rock? Has Green Day become classic rock? I think it probably has. Where do I think Jock Peterson will go? That's a great question. I think he's going to end up back with the Dodgers. That would be my guess. Anybody that hasn't subscribed yet that is still here, we're 2.5 hours in. It's 1:30 or 12:30 on the East. It's 1:30 in the Atlantic, for anybody wondering. And if you're still here, you haven't subscribed yet, hit that sub. Come on and join this community. We're building a good one, and I want you to be a part of it. And apparently my memory is working, because I can remember way back when Zachary was commenting at like 1 and 2 in the morning for some postseason preview videos that I was doing like 5 months ago. Steel Badger, have a good one, buddy. How do you think the Yanks are looking from Ultra 6? I think they're looking good. I think it's going to be Yankees and Blue Jays in that division. Unless the Rays can go and get some pitching back, I think it's Yankees and Blue Jays. BALLCAP Sports, imagine if Toronto had Shane Bieber did. Of course. I mean, listen, I thought you were going to say, imagine if the Blue Jays can get back to Toronto. How about this, guys? Can we get the Blue Jays back in that stadium by Canada Day? Like, can we work something out with the Canadian government to have the first game back in the stadium, and maybe let some fans in? Maybe let a quarter of the fans in there and do that for Canada Day? Can we get that? Can we make that happen? I think that would be nice. Didi is still a free agent. If you had asked me, I kind of would have taken Didi over Simeon because he's a lefty bat, but I'm happy with what we got. So here's what we're going to do, guys. Again, please like the video if you haven't liked it, if you're just hanging out, if you're just coming across the channel for the first time, would love for you to subscribe and join this community. Who's your favorite hip hop artist? Do you listen to modern? I honestly listen to more of the older stuff. I do listen to some of the new stuff. My favorite hip hop artist is probably going to date me. But I roll with Tupac every day of the week. So I'm a Pac guy all day. Let's see. May not look like it, but yeah. Let's see. Whoever gets Fisher win the World Series. Thank you, Papa. That's a good point. All right, guys. Here's what we're gonna do. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. If you haven't liked yet, listen. If you like Tupac, hit the like. Okay. Hit the like if you like Tupac. If you like rum, if you like Tupac, if you're too young to drink rum, but one day you're going to try it, hit the like. Have you ever played Out of the Park? I have. I've played Out of the Park and I've played Baseball Mogul for anybody who's a fan of Baseball Mogul. And I kind of like Baseball Mogul a little bit more. I'm actually talking with the guys at Baseball Mogul. I've been emailing with one of the guys over there. I want to try to do a projection for the 2021 season using Baseball Mogul, and I want to try to get an early copy for it. Dime, no, yes, Tupac is the best all day long. Let's see. So yes, let's see. Brian stays a Cub, turning his 40s Brewers, move for the Dodgers. It's a good question. I think they stay with what they got. I think they give Rios a shot. I think they move Muncy over to third and they let Lux have second. I mean, they could do a bunch of things, but they could roll with what they got. Let's see here. Like for Tupac and yeah, hit the like if you're down with Tupac. All right, guys. Here's what we're gonna do. It is 12:28 in the morning in the East. Owen, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. We are going to wind it down. Jesse, I do play MLB The Show. You can actually see I've got a couple of MLB The Show videos. I think if you search on the channel for MLB The Show, you should see a couple things that we did. Anybody that wants to find my ball, here you go. Before we go, anybody that wants to find my BALLCAP gaming channel, if you can find that, it's been like a year and a half or so, but I tried to do it with MLB The Show content. Tried a couple different things. If you want to find my BALLCAP gaming, that was intended to be a gaming channel. It did not take off. I've done nothing with it. But BALLCAP Gaming exists out there, and there's some MLB The Show stuff. Who do you think cover? I think it's going to be Tatis. Did anybody see Fuzzy? He's on a boat somewhere, and Tatis is in the picture. What's Fuzzy doing with Tatis? There's going to be that was a MLB The Show 21 spoiler right there. I don't think he meant to do that. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to wind it down. Before we go, though, we are, if you're still here, haven't subscribed, please hit the sub. And like, if you're here and you're hanging out still, hit the like. Again, we're hitting the like if we like baseball, rum, Tupac, if we're too young to drink, but we're going to try rum one day, all that stuff. That's how we're doing it. But that's where we're going to roll with that. And we're going to finish up tonight with, let's see, I'm your 11th subscriber with 16 videos. Right on, Jesse. Supporting that BALLCAP gaming. Listen, if I can get like, I don't know, 500 subscribers to BALLCAP gaming, maybe I'll start doing something with that thing again. We'll see. So, okay. We are going to wrap it up, but we're going to wrap it up with some home runs from Marcus Semien. So thank you guys for being here and hanging out and spending your evening here and subscribing. A lot of new subs. Thank you so much. You guys could have been doing anything else. And you're here with me. You're hanging out. It's late and you're still hanging out with me. So thank you very much. Chandler, what do you think? Who do you think the Dodgers will sign? I think you're going to get Turner back, and that might be the big signing. That might be what's left. So thank you guys for being here. I do appreciate that. We will be back doing the nightcap again next week, same day, same time. We will be rocking with the nightcap. And if anything big happens between now and then, if Bauer signs between now and then, you will see me live again, and we will dig into that when it happens. Anything big that happens, we will do it live. Thank you guys again for the evening. Thank you for a great stream here on a Tuesday night. Here are some Simeon homers to send us off on the night. Take care. Talk to you soon.
This one's hit down the left field line, headed for the corner, and that baby's gone. And that curveball is hit to left field, and that's hit well. Dickerson's back, and that baby's gone.
Had to come back to the plate. Simeon drills one to center. Robert back, looking up. It is gone. Marcus Semien to straightaway center field.